let people know that we exist.
What do?
Oh god.
I mean, I think that's a question for in the game. Existentialism, very Star Trek.
Ah, okay.
See what I dealt with last week.
Hey, I'm here for the tomfuckery.
My brain tells me that I should tell Modifius people that we're doing this, because some people watch this stuff for some silly reason. Well, I totally didn't out the last one, but that's okay. They can just watch the VODs. Where else? Right. Oh, I know. I would ask that the intrepid harmonizer Kovac lead us off.
Commencing around stardate 60500, a full 8 years after the tumultuous Dominion War, the Halanak Agreement marked an epochal event in the annals of interstellar affairs. The pioneering accord was forged to spearhead the exploration of the enigmatic Shackleton Expanse, driven by the twin ambitions of safeguarding the free information sphere and its technological marvels, notably the groundbreaking quantum power system, a linchpin in the development of quantum slipstream drives, and of establishing a haven where both infospherians and diverse inhabitants of the Alpha and Beta quadrants could convene to cultivate understanding far removed from the tumultuous currents of the Alpha Quadrant. Arunda, why am I reading this again? Okay. Sure. Beyond its status as the political epicenter of the FIS, Halanak Station emerged as a bustling hub of commerce, diplomacy, and concord, not to mention petty thievery, smuggling, and other various crimes. All right, I'll read what is written. Nestled as a radiant gem in the celestial tapestry. Oh, really? Radiant gem? Okay. It orbited the world of Pintar within the expansive embrace of the Shackleton Expanse. Embrace, is that the word we're using for this weather? While exuding an aura of serenity, it also beckoned to those who harbored motives of greed, ambition, or fear. Well, okay, there's a little bit of truth. For every peril it drew, its mission also pledged to rekindle the ailing Federation. Really? Ailing? Have you seen how far their borders? Okay. Nursing its wounds born of the Dominion War. They're never going to let us forget that they were in the Dominion War. This is a chronicle of a gallant few who stood as its sentinels. Seriously, who did you find? Okay. I mean, okay, this is like a bad Hollow novel. Thus, the saga unfolds under the appellation Halanak Station. Okay, can I go now?
And Captain of the USS Da Vinci, would you present us a log, please?
Of course.
Smart
I don't know if you
guy.
want to anymore.
Who's COVID giving shade to?
They took all the fun out of it.
COVID giving shade to.
His opposite number, Arundina Rulan, who's the Savix cast cop on the water side of the station.
Makes sense. Captain's log, stardate 60502.8. Today begins with a pivotal meeting on the horizon. I'm scheduled to confer with Harmonizer Kovac regarding the discovery of a derelict laboratory concealed within what was initially identified as a rogue comet. The USS Da Vinci, under my command, successfully secured the enigmatic anomaly yesterday. The complexity of the situation has been further compounded by the involvement of a member species of the FIS, and the incident itself transpiring within FIS borders. As the senior officer present, it's imperative that I liaise with local law enforcement officials to ensure a comprehensive response to this unfolding mystery. My forthcoming rendezvous with Kovac, an Ioshan whose reputation precedes him, promises to be both intriguing and challenging. Known for his distinctive blend of cynicism and discernment, Kovac's perspective on the situation may unveil aspects previously obscured, or opinions previously obscured. Our exchange holds the potential to shed light on the truth that lies shrouded within the depths of this cosmic anomaly. Simultaneously, today, thankfully, marks the arrival of Captain Pend. Captain Pend and I served together on the Achilles for 8 years, and his presence will undoubtedly invigorate the station, infusing it with renewed vigor as he takes the reins. Our paths are diverging now, although still tied together, and almost certainly will lead us to disparate corners of the cosmos. But today's rendezvous rekindles the bonds formed during our shared tenure. End log.
And with that, we swing the camera to a certain part of the station, the security office. The main security office, I should highlight. I don't believe the Lieutenant Captain of Stars is present. And I believe our good Commander Thralic steps in to a bustling and busy facility with a few people with attachments to their heads that seem to be hollow recorders stepping by, muttering between themselves, why couldn't he just read the script? All he had to do was read.
Uh-huh. I'll look around slightly perplexed, but keep walking. And I'll look for a chime to buzz on the door. Or it opens. I don't know. One of those. Something like that.
Come in. Captain Thralic.
Mr. Kovic.
Nice to meet you.
Speaking as well.
Have a seat. Coffee? Tea?
Tea, yes, thank you.
I'll make him some. I'll have the replicator make some tea.
Right.
Once I've got Thralic set up. So, looks like you and I are sharing a problem.
Indeed. We have a investigation on our hands, it appears.
Yet the speaker has asked me to figure out what's going on here as quickly as possible. So I'd like to formally request Starfleet's assistance with the investigation, beginning with the forensic examination of the station itself, and then more than likely, I suspect, a ride out towards its origin point, whether that's in the Da Vinci or a runabout or something. Some of the FIS's scanners capabilities better than Federation tricorder standard, but not a lot of them. So I think cooperating with your security team is our best bet to pick up certain types of evidence.
All right. I'll get you in contact with my security chief.
Excellent. And I'm probably going to have my opposite number, Arundina Rulan, the harmonizer adjunct for the station, and a Savix cast join us for the as we examine the station for no other reason than she's Savix cast, and the water-filled portions she'll be a lot better moving around than I.
All right. Does she need any environmental accommodations for transport?
GM? I mean, do they, like, when Savix casts are in oxygen environments or dry environments? Do they wear like a water suit, or what's the?
As long as they have somewhere on ship to go to at the end of the day to rehydrate, they're okay. Like they just need to have somewhere to go at the end of the day to immerse themselves in water. But they can go on dry land they can roll around on dry land just fine.
Okay. She should be fine. The only concern, of course, is whatever residual radiation is on the station from the ruptured core.
Right, we can provide inoculations against that radiation.
Fantastic. Well, let's hope we can, A, get this solved quickly, and B, well, I was about to say let's hope that it turns out to be just some sort of, 1 in a billion accident, but since there's Romulan technology involved, I kind of doubt that.
Indeed. If you have further questions on the history of that technology, I encourage you to coordinate with my executive officer.
Will do. Thanks for your cooperation, Captain.
Right. Now, would you like the sensor readings we've gotten so far of the station?
Yes, please.
All right. She'll pull out a pad, tap a couple things, and hand that over.
Excellent.
Let us know what we can do to help, Harmonizer. We're here, and we don't have anything else to do yet.
Will do. Don't get too comfortable, though. I have a feeling you'll have plenty to do before you know it.
I'm sure. All right, then. Stand up. Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, by the way, the tea's awful. It's like cop shop tea.
Yeah, no, there was she took like 2 sips of it and then left it on the desk.
It's really tasty to the protists. It's very nutritious.
You noticed that he had like a to-go cup from a local shop on the station on his desk.
Kovic, this is more reflecting your general management and enforcement of security on station. It's going to be control security opposed. The station will assist, of course.
Of course. Except for when the station doesn't assist. That's when there's a problem.
And what's it for the station?
It would be, I suppose it would come down to sensors plus security.
Well, I'll roll the station. Nope.
Well, that's still not fixed.
Yeah.
Having this issue all last session too, where ships only roll 2 dice.
Okay, I'm gonna use my constable roll ability, which lets me, among a couple other things, once per scene, I can create an advantage representing an informant's information by adding 1 to threat, rather than spending 2 momentum. So I would like to create that advantage for this roll
Very well.
as like a, I don't know, extra hit or whatever. I think that's all I can do at this point. It's going to be opposed. So let me we don't have anything on the board, so I'm just going to give you a pile threat. How's that?
Define the pile.
The pile is
In numerical amount.
6. Full net. Let me throw some focuses at you.
Ow.
I'll just go down some. Observation.
Yeah.
Okay, that was easy. I was expecting it to go down farther, but okay. All right, let's see what happens here.
Saying I'm easy? Okay.
Control's not my forte. Steel was not my forte. So that's a total of 5
Wrong
hits.
system.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a total of 5 hits for me with the extra one from the talent, and I don't have capability of re-rolling any of that.
Yeah, and that's 2
The,
from the station.
Okay.
Was it
So
difficulty on that
7.
roll?
Opposed.
Okay.
It's
It's
He's just got the accent going already.
And what's the oppose? Is it like control security or like presence?
I'd say like daring security or fitness security.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Are you already infiltrating the station?
Why are you opposing this?
Don't worry about it.
I'm worried about it.
Yeah!
Would you take a focus in strategy and tactics?
Uh-huh.
well, it's actually pinned opposing it too.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
That doesn't make me worry about it less.
Let's start off strong. I'm going to roll 6 challenge dice. You get 3. That's a relatively good roll for that. So that's 9 for me.
Yeah, all things are well and all manner of things shall be well, Kovic. Everything's fine.
Okie dokie.
Where does Commander Thralic head off to?
Oh, okay.
I think I'm heading back to the Da Vinci to set up things I talked to Kovic about, basically.
Okay. So you head off into the bustling decks of the station, of Halanak Station. What is Kovic up to at his desk after he reads? There's some issues on the station, but minor stuff. The week-long celebration of the Halanak agreement is still ongoing, but it's not nearly as busy as it was yesterday. Yesterday was the big wig day where all the QECs were active, that's why you couldn't have the meeting with the captain yesterday. It's like after that incident, it's like, yeah, there's now like 10 other things going on. Is it going to kill us? No? Bye. I'll be back with you in a second. I'll see you first thing in the morning, I swear.
So yeah, I'm going to start combing through the data from the Da Vinci, seeing if there's anything that might be a hook for or a lead in what they found that might suggest some avenues of further investigation.
Well, does anyone remember certain leads I left last time that you might want to remind Kovac in your logs?
Other than
Okay, well-
the remarkably obvious Romulan, archaic Romulan, but Romulan styled dilithium reactor.
And I know that the Tal Shiar are rumored to want to influence the presiding speaker. We also know where its origin point is, we think.
We know the origin course, I think, more accurate. And that course takes us through an area that we'd assume to be...
Right.
Yeah, we have a decent guess at its origin point.
That's just me being... it's likely there. It's probably there, but we don't know 100%, so we're not using the certain language that is there. The bridge was the only place that had water and a water lock.
Right.
Everything else was... At least when we were there, we haven't done further investigation at this time, but everything else was standard.
Yeah.
And I believe it was low gravity. There was no artificial gravity on the station.
Right. And yeah, being aware of all of that, I was thinking more of like looking into the nitty gritty of the sensor analysis to see if anything popped up that we didn't look last time.
Reason, science, difficulty 2, assisted by station computer science.
Investigative techniques or forensics and criminalistics?
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay.
Either way.
What's my diff?
2.
Diff 2. Okay. So take a threat for the third die. Just hit it.
In the station?
What's this station?
Computer science.
Just 1.
So 3, we gain a momentum.
Yep. It looks like the Starfleet officers, both in the away team and in the initial sweep, didn't see anything. There's nothing that they seem to have skipped or missed. They seem to be rather thorough, especially since they had a good chunk of day to give it a scan and walk around and secure the place and so on. But you did succeed, so there may be certain little tidbits that Kovac's looking for that maybe even the GM isn't catching. So you can spend momentum to ask, or threat to ask follow-up questions.
Yep. And with the talents of lead investigator and the constable focus, I generate a total of 3 bonus momentum after a successful task to investigate a crime.
Oh, there you go. So you have 3 free just out of the gate.
Right. So, okay. Does the old school dilithium intermix chamber, is it actually of Romulan manufacture, or is it a copy? Like, with the scans that they took, can I tell if this was actually made by Romulans, or was it like a Savix cast copy?
There's significant portions of Romulan manufacturing involvement, but not out of any industrial plant of any kind. The majority of its build is of Savix cast make and manufacturing process. They do have, because of the FAS, they do have some capacity for starship design. It's limited, though. They need to talk to the Upantari to really do anything big. Like, they need the station to do big stuff.
Okay.
But the bits that they couldn't do, like certain the semi-magnetic matter-antimatter containment fluid, you can't really replicate that. That had to be shipped. That's not something the Savix cast could make themselves. They had to get it from a Romulan source. There's alternatives, but not one the Savix cast are aware of. The initial dilithium within the dirty dilithium that was in the middle, that seems to be something that's been gathered. It's hard to tell because it's so impure, but it could be from a lot of places. But given the amount of time involved, it does seem to be something that could be sourced somewhere in the Shackleton and has that certain aura to it. Anything else in that thing that would be indicative? Just imagining it in my head. But yeah, a good chunk of it that isn't mission critical is Savix cast, but certain parts are definitely of Romulan source material or manufacture.
Okay. So, second question. and a couple things that might not be on the scans that have been done so far. Any the equivalent of manufacturer labels, serial numbers, kind of things on these Romulan parts?
No, most notably. Which normally Romulans would plaster their stuff over it. This is ours, don't take, or you will be punished under the full extent of the law. They're very picky about copyright.
Right. Right. Okay, so I guess last question, were with the scans that the engineering and team plus Ryloff took over, are there any scans that we're looking for DNA or biological remains, trace elements, anything like that? Has that been done yet?
They did scan for life forms initially, yeah.
But I mean, I guess I'm asking, was that at a granularity enough that would be like criminal investigations? Are there
likely
traces?
not? They probably were in crisis and emergency mode. There was more of is someone dying or dead here that we need to get to, rather than a full forensic analysis.
All right. So can I have that momentum back for another question?
You could, yep, because that's a question I can't answer.
Okay.
Yeah, it was general. The only person that was over there that might take scans like that would be Rylov. Just out of habit.
Yeah, that's what I figured, but I just wanted to be sure.
Spend that in just a second.
And I thought maybe some of these questions were coming from later, because most of this stuff we didn't have time to scan or do, right? Like the make and
that's
Be like
manufacturing.
looking back over the scans, probably, is my guess.
Yeah.
So you guys are suggesting, and you're right to do so if it's true. You're suggesting your characters would have done a granular DNA scan.
Well, no, I'm saying in what we saw on screen, we didn't have time to get any of the answers to any of the questions he's had. So I'm assuming they came later, like in the next hours or so after the crisis was over, which indicates that we would have had time, right, to do the granular scale as part of an investigation.
Yeah, because this is like the next day. Like it's a full...
Yeah.
Then
I think he should have access. If he has access to the stuff on the engine, he should have access to this.
Oh, well, there you go. Never mind. You do have that information.
And yeah, as I pointed out, I think the person that would be doing that is probably Rylov. Just as a...
Yeah, probably.
There's something missing here, and there's someone missing, so if we can find something to backlog to...
Okay. So...
We've got water that carries particles, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any traces of people, entities, and if so, can we determine what species they belong to? Or even if there's enough DNA to identify individuals.
Savix cast.
No sign of Romulan Vulcanoid DNA?
No.
Okay.
Which is not to say there never was any, it's just that in the last operating time before...
Right.
Yeah.
I don't... Okay, I need to ask one more question. Is there enough of the... we don't have any momentum. Did we already spend that one we generated?
So did that last question cost momentum, GM, or
No.
did that get refunded? Okay.
Yeah,
Then we still have
so
momentum.
I'll spend the one on, is there enough DNA material from the Savix cast to allow identification, theoretically?
There is, yeah. Given the how intensive Starfleet, or rather,
Invasive.
I will say I'll actually go one step further, just to be annoying, because I have so much threat. The scans that were done are not enough to identify, but given what was there, like the lab's still there, so one could just collect it, like because you basically need a medical tricorder scan, whereas they were walking around with engineering and security scanners.
Right.
The level of identification, especially when it comes to the complex life forms of the Savix cast, you would have to be very careful about what particular plant matter you're talking about.
Okay. That sounds good. Then I guess I will reach out to Rylov at this point.
Meanwhile, no. Well, actually, we'll cut straight up to. Actually, where's Rylf right now? Is he on the bridge right now, or is he somewhere on station?
If the captain was off, then he's probably on the ship just to keep one. I mean, unless he was specifically allowed to be on that station still, but yeah. Because there's interesting things there, and we might as well just keep idly taking a look around if we're not busy. That's if the captain lets him.
I extend that question to the captain.
Yeah, good with me.
Yeah.
So
It's probably there, just like.
I need. Is it this one? It is this one. Boop. Boop.
He has investigative techniques, so I'm sure he knows enough not to touch every random thing and absolutely ruin it, but there's definitely the what can I see that might stand out because blah blah blah. That's more or less.
Oh no, I'm in deep space.
Yeah, it happens.
Stop whining about it. Jeez. No.
It's been years. You were only spaced on your first session.
But yeah. This is more given nature of we're right next to a absolutely massive station in this particular situation. It's like he can afford to be elsewhere that's within range to quickly get back to the ship.
Anywhere in particular you're on station? Like hoping to see? Are you hoping to see something more? Something you could, like the marketplace, the museums. They have a complex biome. Arboretum is the wrong word.
The rock one.
Hmm.
When I said the station, I meant the one we caught.
Ew. I was gonna say. I was like, I guess you're wandering around on station, all right?
No, the one we caught.
Someone has healthy work-life boundaries, but I guess I was wrong.
Since when has he had that?
So we go back over here. Da Vinci is over here. You're not there, you're here. Well, technically everyone's over there. Turn you off, turn you off, turn you off. That's where the thing was, not there anymore.
We pulled it into like a stable orbit or something.
You could easily, yeah.
Or if the station has a dry dock, right? If we wanted to get any more detailed information out of it, we could start literally pulling it apart because we have the space.
Yeah, I think Captain Sirana would have recommended we just pull it in for, security reasons.
What's its scale? Is it capable of
I would have said no. Let us not pull that in because
I think Philip would also advise against pulling it in.
Well, I'm thinking like the power plant needs to be deconstructed, right? It can't just be left out here to explode. So we need to take it apart, and the best place to do that
we've stabilized that for now.
Yeah, but we should remove it
has to be
and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why I'm saying we shouldn't move it in until we've done an investigation. Because we're dealing with an unstable thing that's leaking radiation, or still is irradiated, rather.
I'll also point out that the people on the station, the general people that would be dealing with that, have no damn idea what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Well, but we're about to take over the station, right? So it wouldn't be them responsible anymore. It'd be us.
I mean, it's still like joint.
It's also our station, and it doesn't matter whether or not you think we have any idea of what to do with it.
she's not
station, comrade.
Yeah.
Station.
No, but it's like the point of if something's going wrong, you can't do shit. Again.
If people are generally against keeping it on board, we can keep it, can we just tractor it continuously and keep it in a steady distance?
Yeah, my whole thing is we haven't, until we're absolutely sure that there are no other surprises in this station waiting to rain down hell either on the planet or the station, then,
I do think eventually we will have to take this apart, and that will...
Yes, eventually. It's just after we've done the investigation.
Okay.
You could the two things you could do, you could use tractor beams to hold it in place, but the more less energy intensive way is to use one of the tethers. So there's the dry dock where you pull it into the body of the station, like into the actual dry dock area, or there's one of the long tendrils that reaches down and away from the station that allows it to connect it with the airlocks of whatever it is.
But both are within the same zone category for space combat, right?
Yep.
So it's not safer, because of the way antimatter explosions work, it's not safer to have it outside the dry dock than inside. It's still going to do massive damage.
Well, if it's in the dry dock, it's... if it's in the dry dock, the resistance still applies for it against the rest of the station, but everything else in the dry dock gets hit with, and they don't have the protection of the station because something's in the dry dock with them. But you're right, yeah. If it blows up in a...
The call is coming from inside the house.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying the tether doesn't really make it that safe. If we want to keep it... if safety is the mind, we would want to keep it away from the station altogether in a different zone.
Well, if safety is the mind, then we want to keep it closely accessible to our team of engineers and all of their equipment.
Well, but we have a starship, right? I mean, park it well away, and the Da Vinci can, and they've got transporters and stuff, so I think we can find a...
Okay, do we want to daisy chain that then? We keep the Da Vinci one unit away, and then it's tractoring the thing another unit away?
Well, so here's the thing. We don't need to tractor it. We can just, this is a gravitational system. We can just find a stable orbit for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's way smarter.
You could put it... you can put it in any zone that isn't already occupied by a planet, obviously, because otherwise you're making it share the... I mean, you could. I don't think the local stations... we
can just put it in, the... We could just put in the L2 of Opentar, maybe?
I mean, if you use the tractor beams to stabilize its momentum, right? It's not going anywhere for millions of years. You don't need to put it in an orbit.
So you're going to set it somewhere out here in the outermost part of the orbital wing?
And then just match its momentum to the general momentum of the star system, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what putting it into an orbit is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but of the star rather than of a planet.
You put it in a stable orbit of the system. Yeah.
Cool.
So, Centurion Ryloff, now that you know where you are and your translocative biolocation crisis is averted, what do you do on the little station that didn't?
It almost did. No, but just given what we've seen so far, just trying to catch what. It's just walking around, basically. Okay, where would something?
Hmm.
Where would something?
I think his audio cut out.
And then I heard click.
Yeah.
My cat stole my headset cord. Which is why I then had to mute before I plugged it back in, or I would blow out everyone's ears.
I appreciate that.
Headset cord now, human.
Yeah, but generally, it's okay. So where might something be, or where might someone have been on this? Generally, things that he might think to look out for as a Romulan, as opposed to.
So what are you asking me exactly? I'm not sure myself.
The exact extent of what a Romulan presence on this might have been, if there was any.
Oh, insight, engineering, difficulty of 3.
Because you'd really like to just rule that out, and hopefully they just found some archaic thing floating in the void, and were like, oh hey, but that'd be great, you know. I mean, it wouldn't be great that they found something like that, but it'd be better. I do still have the paranoid trait at the moment.
Complication increase.
Yeah. Yeah. Wary? Question mark. As a talent.
No.
No. Had to ask.
Mm.
And then we've got investigative techniques as a focus. And you said... what was it in engineering?
Insight.
Insight. Difficulty 2, you said, or
Yes. 3. Sorry.
3. Okay, I'll give you 3 threats then. And I'll ask if Scout has a trait, potentially.
Not in this case. No.
Weightless, given there's no gravity in this damn place. And I particularly know how to use that if this was just the default setting. As in, if there was no gravity,
I will.
Then it's.
I will say it applies mainly because it's you. That's you accounting for the fact that stuff's drifted away from its original gravity points. Like this place had gravity once upon a time. It doesn't. It no longer does.
That said, was gravity or the lack of gravity therefore any determining factor in difficulty at all?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can use weight. Oh, you're thinking for
spacewalk, yeah.
No, not for spacewalk. No.
Okay, yeah. That's. I was just like, we'll find out. But yes, we'll go for that. 2 4s. Not quite good enough, but 2 4s.
Okay, so we generate 1 off that then.
That's really close.
It seems you kind of find similar findings as Kovic does, in that the majority of the station is built using Savix Cast methods. The core is the bit where there's that Romulan bits and bobs, like the power core itself is something that the Savix Cast couldn't build. Because they don't use antimatter matter reactors. That's not a FAS tech. They use quantum power, and even then, that's only for as far as the Savix Cats are concerned. That's only for they could use it for like buildings and stuff, but it wouldn't be this. They wouldn't build something like this without outside help.
Yeah,
or outside influence, I should say. But no, the majority station is very much a very Savix Cast facility where you find that a lot of these rooms could be flooded with water. It's just that the main operating area was the one that was flooded with water before the rest of it is. But as far as Romulan, yeah, there's not enough security. The doors aren't locked thoroughly enough. You're not seeing the telltale metals of the design shape's wrong.
There's no small objects left in a room that would imply someone was there, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And you get a chirp from your communicator, from your badge, as Kovic is trying to contact you.
This is Rylov. Go ahead.
Commander Rylov, this is Kovic, Harmonizer Kovic. You can almost hear him rolling his eyes when he says Harmonizer. Captain Thralic told me to coordinate with you when it comes to the investigation of the Savix Cache / Romulan station. I'd like to send a team over to do a detailed DNA analysis. Looks like from what I'm seeing in your previous scans that there's enough there where we might be able to identify some of the Savix Cast involved.
Very well, I can meet you aboard. Though the extent of how joint this venture is seems incredibly limited. The knot between you and I, between the, at this point, anonymous Romulans and the Savix Cast.
Well, there's Romulan tech. It doesn't have any of the usual Romulan warning signs on it, but It's definitely a Romulan manufacturer. So somewhere down the line, we're going to find either Romulans or, I don't know, Ferengis or Orions trading in Romulan tech.
Indeed. Well, perhaps this is also incredibly old. Or at least the concept of it is.
Well, we can also take some scans to determine whether or not it's recently built, replicated, or whether it's original.
Indeed.
In any event, I'll meet you over with one of my CSI wonks, and we'll see what we can find. I'm assuming beam to the ship, then they can beam me to the station, or
Or a shuttle, if you'd prefer that.
it doesn't matter. I'm comfortable with transporters.
Given the defense he's floating out here, yeah. We can just have them go over and an entire starship. Because it's funny. No, it's also supposed to be flying around to be like, hey, look what the ship can do. So it's flying around to be like, hey, look.
So yeah, and I just created a NPC, a support character, Nymoth Ovu. I'm not even sure how to pronounce that, but there you go.
Seifu?
Yeah. So if anybody wants to pick up, he's kind of this CSI
Oops.
guy.
Fudge, hold on. I didn't. Now everyone can see it.
I got
There.
him.
Very green.
Zoom,
Okay.
enhance, zoom, enhance.
Yeah, whatever the Savix cast equivalent of the nerdy tech guy who's I can't trace his IP.
That's exactly him, except that he leans a little bit more towards medical stuff because
Okay. Oh, okay.
The
So
sticky
he's the
part of
medical examiner who says, in all my
Forensics.
40 years of being in, I've never seen something so brutal.
right. But he also has good science. So.
Okay.
Oh, we might, depends what happens. You might see something brutal.
Yeah, it's true.
So you're having the So you guys are heading over, bumming a ride off the Da Vinci over to the station, to the
Or-
lab.
Just being beamed there will be fine as well. Whatever.
Yeah, well, the Da Vinci does need to move the zone, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Are you just gonna end up having like every single like detective and cop show
Cliche.
archetype in your department by the end of this?
Yes, you can't complain
Yes.
about it.
You need the captain who's yelling at. Well, I guess you are the captain who yells at people that they're off the case and they have to turn in their badge.
Right, which is kind of a weird position for Kovic to be in, but
That's the new story arc.
I will say,
Yeah, exactly.
I will say, the forensic tech Zivu is kind of like amazed at the Starfleet's technological supremacy, or not supremacy, but advancement. And
you're right.
while on the short ride over, is immediately barraging Rylov with questions about so how does this work and how does that work and what are
Except Rylov's
forensics
not on the
like
ship,
here?
so
Oh, I thought
You
you
could
were
have-
coming with us. Sorry.
he's already on the station. So the ship moves over. It doesn't
Oh,
pick him up,
oh.
then go to pick you guys up, and then come back.
So
He's
she's
just staying
actually
there.
bombarding Vin.
Yeah.
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 A new scene, though, as we cut over to, as that journey commences, the Da Vinci's not here anymore. We look to the station,
Poor Ben.
and so who is on the station currently? Who's left? Because I imagine Serena's still here.
Yep. Serena is still. Have we had the meeting, like the full transfer and celebration with Captain Pend yet?
No,
right?
yet no.
Okay.
His ship did arrive, though.
Okay.
Hey.
Well,
Yeah.
if his ship has arrived, I would like to make preliminary meetings with him to make sure the ceremony is going to go well. And I am still knee deep in ordering people around, hanging up streamers, getting the band organized, everything ready, because I want this to be as successful and impressive celebration as it can be.
Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to give me an opposed roll to find him.
Find him? What is he in hiding? Is he in the witness
Apparently.
protection program?
No, he's just hiding. For fun.
Someone or something is making an effort to obfuscate his arrival on station.
Can I help with that?
You
Not
might.
obfuscating. The
Like at some point, probably part of the process, like, hey, Commander, where's Captain? It's like, I don't know either. Don't you know? No. We should probably
Alright,
find him.
find him.
What do you mean he's missing again already?
He just.
Station
He hasn't even
sparkling?
gotten here yet.
Yeah, the station is sparkling.
What the fuck?
That's in theory, the light-based people. They can go out, they can survive in the vacuum of space, and because of the big event that's going on, a lot of them are clustering outside so they don't crowd the station inside. Also to freak out the normies. And it's fun.
There's a
No, it's
litany
just-
of reasons.
No, it's just a cool little graphic. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So what am I making for a roll?
Well, I'll tell you. When I
Good.
feel like it. No. Yeah, there we go. Give me reason plus security opposed with ship sensors plus security.
Actually, GM, first things first.
Yeah.
Can I activate my my well-informed? At the start of a scene, you may add one threat to ask Game Master 2 questions about the situation and location, as if you had spent momentum on the obtained information spent.
You certainly can.
It comes from the contacts and rumors and news you've heard. Can I ask you that to say that, like, I, the player, know about Pence, to say that I know a guy who knows a guy, and I have like gained access to Penn's like records and information beyond just like what Starfleet provided, and like I might know a bit more about him in the sense of like I could, if I have to find him, it would be easier to find him.
Well, it's not quite an advantage. It's a question that I would answer.
Okay, fair enough. Well then, different approach. Can I ask the question of maybe Penn's the character to answer this. Could answer this. Is there a form of alcohol that the captain most prefers?
There is.
There is, and it's currently stocked in a very specific room of the that he has ownership of, lease of.
What is it? Is it like one of the kinds that are illegal in the Federation?
No, it's one he makes himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the pen. It's a pen. What is it called? I forget now. It's been a while.
We essentially just call it jet fuel.
I was going to say it was like rocket fuel or jet fuel or something. Like
Yeah.
that.
okay. So Penn brews his own alcohol in his spare time. In that case, I would like to, because the whole thing about the Upentari is they're big on gift giving. Could I acquire like a FIS like brewing guidebook of some kind to give to him to like exchange our knowledge on, you know, the art of distilling alcohol?
You could actually. It would cost small momentum. It's an opportunity of a useful item.
Okay, I will make that, and then I will second question. I don't have an idea for the second question, so I'll let it go. I'm going to go try to find the Captain Pen.
Alright.
Yes, find the Captain Pen.
I like it.
Sounds like an adventure game novel quest.
It's like a Where's Waldo?
No. You say it's like a catch the pigeon. In this case, it's catch the pen.
Mm-hmm.
Choose your own adventure novel.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want me to roll first, but without the station's assistance?
Oh yes, sorry. Yeah. Recent security opposed. Okay. Hold on, I'm thinking. You could go first.
I'm assuming I've still got those +4 from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Strategy and tactics is a focus again.
Yep.
And because it's still funny and seeing how it's going to go, I'm going to roll 6 challenge dice for the second time.
Okay.
You get 4. So that's 6, 8, 10, 11 hits.
Oh, we're gonna need some good luck here.
I can't type 2 ones. No.
Difficulty 1-1.
Okay. All right. GM.
Yo.
Okay, the Walking Encyclopedia Talon requires you to use 2 momentum to gain the additional focus.
Mm-hmm.
Would you accept taking threat for that?
I
or
would.
I have momentum. Okay, have 2 threat. I want to add the focus of, I don't know, missing persons finding.
Okay.
How would we put this?
Investigative techniques, maybe?
Bounty hunting.
Pen wrangling.
Sure. I will go for
Diplomatic coordination.
You know what? I will go with
This.
investigative techniques because I think that would work here. GM.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a 1 in security. That was a waste. Oh well. Insight security or reason security. I am off my game today. Oh, I did not roll that. What?
Didn't you?
I mean, we'll take it, but I didn't press the button.
Oh.
Oh, wild.
Oh, okay.
Ship hits.
And then so I'll be assisting you. That's going to give you a question, GM. Can I assist with my command here?
You could, because presumably you could ask around the Starfleet staff that are aboard and getting settled. Hey, have you seen Captain Penn?
Yeah.
All right, then.
For the dice I rolled.
Lieutenant Captain, that gives you a reroll
Threat.
from my advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to spend a Pike Medal of Valor to treat my assist as a 1.
Like an automatic 1? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not going to matter. I can't find him.
Well, you get 1 reroll for 1 of your dice, at least. Because of Tharlok's assistance. Well, yeah. So 1,
So
2...
our total number is 6.
6,
Yep.
yeah.
We're not even close. I'm not going to waste a determination spent on this.
Yeah.
If I can't find the Captain Penned, I am going to go to the Captain Frolic and demand that she find the Captain Penned. I think this will be basically our first formal meeting. Is the LTCOS has asked to meet with you. In like the way it's described to you is like to coordinate certain matters relating to the handoff or something vague like that. It's not specified what.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So where do the 2 of you meet?
I guess it's up to the Lieutenant Captain.
I
Okay.
would say whatever my office is, but we don't have a thing for that. I looked around for one and I couldn't find one I liked.
Okay, so it's not an op. It's in a private office. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so here. So going up to the upper, actually the middle deck, sorry. Because as opposed to Federation norm where they build the important stuff up near the top of the saucer, FAS builds stuff into the center of the saucer, so it's a lot more, and they build important building rooms such as like ops in the center, as central as possible, to give a lot of metal between them and everyone else. Downside is it makes it very hard to evacuate from, but it's like, well, we're trying to make sure we're still moving and doing things when the station's under attack.
Makes sense.
And you would find yourself passing by a few, now that you're in the command level, the Starfleet command level. Actually, that's a question for the lieutenant captain. 1 second. I knew I'd need this map. I put it in here, didn't I? I should pin it, because I don't need to keep going back to the thing every time. But yeah, would you? So there, of the station, there is a pin. Yes, please. Thank you. There is there are 2 levels. There are 2 decks each. Well, not 2 decks each, but there's 2 levels. There's a Starfleet partnership level, which has 2 decks of crew housing, 2 decks of Starfleet operations. Which now, well, that's technically still command. that's still under your command until it gets handed off. So that's generally where the offices are. There's also the command nexus, but that's more for the FAS as a whole. So the Parliament halls, the office of the presiding speaker. Would you still have your office in level 6 with the Starfleet people, or would you want to move your office somewhere else?
Well, in my mind, they're definitely like a politically well-connected and FIS first kind of officer. So I'm probably in the second option you named. I forget which deck was that with the other FIS officials.
Level 7.
Level 7. I might have an office on the other 4, but the other one is where this one is where I'd spend most of my time.
Oh, so Thralic, you, during the festivities of yesterday, which kind of bogged down the investigation a bit, but you did have to, Starfleet had to make a showing and say hi to the various officials and diplomats and so on. This is the first time you've come into these parts of the command nexus. These areas are a lot more, they're optimized for FIS species, so you see a distinct lack of chairs. You see a lot of areas that are flooded with, a good chunk of this area has water as part of it. You see light, in theory, light beings passing through walls quite frequently. They may pause briefly out of surprise when they see you, and then they'll flicker for a second, realizing, oh, you're supposed to be here, and then they continue on with whatever they're doing.
All right.
But you see a distinct lack of Starfleet personnel, as this is the government. You're basically walking into the capital decks of the free information sphere, and find yourself in a office which has a sort of growth. The lettering is there on the door, and you notice that there is you kind of have to stare at it for a second until the ends. It's not in Federation standard, so you'd have to take out, but eventually you're able to figure out that this is Serena's office.
Alright. I'll look around again, see if I can find like a chime. I'm not sure if that's how the FIS does things. If not, I'll knock.
They have a very tactile gem-like interface, similar to what you would be familiar with in the old museum ships of the Enterprise. The Enterprise 1701.
All right.
The chiclet keys.
I'll kind of hesitantly press that.
Give me insight. Engineering difficulty 1, as you're looking at the console going, how does this work? Because you're used to LCARS helping you out here. This is not LCARS approved. This is FIS approved. It makes perfect sense to them.
Engineering. Observation focus?
Sure, you might have seen someone poking at these panels on the way here.
Yeah, I think actually I was keeping an eye out ever since I noticed that these were panels. I was like, how does this work? Sorry, you said difficulty 2 or difficulty 1?
1.
I'll just roll 2 dice then.
You hesitate to touch any of them because you're not sure if any of them are like red alert or they'll call a different deck. You think that one has something to do with force fields, maybe? You're not sure. If you touch something, you're going by luck and the blood of your ancestors on this one. The one could try to knock in the most simple fashion. Like literally hit the door.
GM?
Barbarian.
GM? I kind of hold my hand out and then close my eyes. I'd like to give you a threat.
Certainly. You recognize that the Upantari are a limited telepath species, and so are the in theory. If you just focus your mind and think over and over Serena, like you think of her title and name, they may, if they're in the room, they may detect you in the sense similar to someone shouting the name like on the other side of a gym floor. Like they'll be vaguely aware that someone's trying to get their attention.
Cool.
On the downside, though, you'll attract anyone else who happens to be listening because they'll hear someone else. There'll be someone else in the same room going, "Is someone shouting someone's name?" Yeah, that person over there. What are they doing?
Yeah. Okay. I'll just knock then.
You are rapping on your door, Lieutenant Captain.
They're so primitive. I am going to, I'm picturing like we had like an artist inside who was like I was like comparing different options for like a painting to hang in a hall of like a Starfleet officer shaking hands with a Steel Fleet officer, and I was like, do we want the more realist painting or the more like abstract painting? And I hear the knocking, and I'm like, oh, that's right. I scheduled that meeting, and I shoo the painter away, and I will slide over and open the door. Hello, Captain Throlic. We welcome you here. I apologize. Time got the better of me, and I forgot you were coming. Please come in.
Lieutenant Captain, my apologies if I interrupted.
No,
Still not entirely familiar with your FIS control systems. Kind of glance with a note of skepticism at the knobs and buttons.
Hey, there's squiggly lines on it now. That probably means something.
Yeah. She just she just like points at one and says, "Whatever you do, don't press that one." And then turns around and leads you inside.
All right.
I first of all, I wanted to apologize about the festivities yesterday. When I purchased that caviar, I was not aware that it needed to be refrigerated. I hope it was not too stomach-curdling for those Earthers who attempted to consume it. And
Polnick will be fine. Don't worry.
I am very grateful to hear that. And second of all, I attempted to contact Captain Pend to discuss some things about the handover, to coordinate and touch base. And why I searched all over. I had my assistant search all over. I contacted multiple people. I think the Captain Pend is missing. Do you know where he is?
Well, I'm afraid I don't. Your inquiries actually made it as far as myself indirectly, so I was also looking for him, although Well, whoever paged me about that, I guess, neglected to inform you.
There's a lot going on in these days. It will be smooth sailing once everything is ironed over.
Oh, don't say that. It never is.
You see like a flicker of lights that like you remember means confusion. An active career have you led?
Very, yes.
Well, I for one am hoping that this is a productive but not all too adventurous time to get there. The last thing I want is for the FIS to be at the center of a great deal of turbulence. We've earned our peace.
Thralic pauses for a moment when you say that, and then just nods. Like there was something else that was about to come out of her mouth, and she bites it down.
Has this happened before? The Captain Pend going missing?
Oh, I'm sure it's nothing to be concerned about.
Something, someone's trying to call your office there, Serena.
I will can I, is there like, I almost said caller ID, is there a way to check who is calling it?
You can, yeah.
Okay, who is calling?
You press a couple of contacts and it has the logo
buttons.
It shows the logo of the presiding speaker of the Free Information Sphere.
Oh no. Apologies, but I do actually have to take this. This is a very important call. Can I route that to some kind of headset or other personal communication device so that it's not take him off speaker proverbially so that Thralic isn't listening?
You can, as an Upantara, you can actually hold, there's a contact where you'd put one of your pseudopods and you'd make it a telepathic connection through the QEC network.
I will do that.
So for a brief moment, you notice Serena's whole body kind of flickers, and it almost looks like lightning is kind of sparking through her body. Which you were told in briefing that's normal when they're using their consoles.
And do I sense anything when this is going on? Out of curiosity.
If you are telepathic, I think you could detect nervousness and apprehension. Essentially, she knows that this man is very important and that he expects things of her that she's not sure that she's able to deliver yet.
Cool. Turlik's not exactly telepathic. She has some psionic capacity, though.
You are aware a psionic event is occurring, but it's very muted compared to the in comparison to telepathic communications between say Vulcans or Betazoids.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
Lieutenant Captain, I see you've opted for a direct connection with your QEC. I presume you have company?
Yes, I am currently meeting with the Captain Thralic of the Starfleet. A situation has occurred upon us. Nothing that we can't handle. It is being addressed as we speak.
Have you found the Captain Pend?
That would be the situation we are attempting to rectify now.
Well, it would seem that you will have to hold the torch of the Free Information Sphere alongside Starfleet personnel. It has come to my attention, well, to our attention, and you get the sense of our as in the Parliament. It has come to our attention that a undocumented trade outpost is requesting to engage in some level of trade, which we were very confused as we understood that we don't have any trade outposts in that particular region, and they confessed to their failure to inform Parliament of their settlement. It seems that a certain enterprising Savix caste has taken upon themselves to a rather daring enterprise. I would request that you... we were going to see if this was a test of our Starfleet commander, but in his absence, we'll simply have to settle for their garrison commander and see if they are able to facilitate not only a rejoining of them to the FIS government, but also perhaps they can smooth over things between themselves and the Federation, as they are not aware that as they are not part of Parliament, they are not aware of the current agreement. So they will need to be briefed on who and what the Federation is. And besides, it saves us from using one of the naval vessels. We can use the Starfleet battleship out there.
Yes, of course. You would like myself to do this with the Starfleet?
Well, I was going to have the Captain Penn do it, but in his absence, you will have to continue your duties as station commander.
Yes, sir. I will not let you down, sir. I know how instrumental you were in giving me this position, and I will not fail you.
Remember, Lieutenant Captain, it is not me you are failing if you fail. It is Parliament.
Sir, yes, sir.
Good day, Lieutenant Captain.
Good day, sir.
And he feels presence pull away from the console.
Yeah, you get like in the like you can immediately see like a sign of like relief and exhaustion. I just spoke with a prominent member of our National Assembly. We have a new mission, a unregistered trading outpost created by some enterprising how do I say this? Some enterprising individuals operating in, well, certainly not necessarily within the confines of the law, has just been contacted. It is possible they are related to the, is possible but not guaranteed they are related to what we have seen with the meteorite. We've just been ordered to go out there and show the flag, essentially. I'm afraid the Captain Pend will have to wait.
I see. Does that mean you're requesting the assistance of the Da Vinci?
Yes, we do not have any vessels to spare.
Wonderful. All right. Lieutenant Captain, will you be accompanying us?
Yes. I have been ordered to take point in these negotiations, for they are a rogue settlement of ours. We will be the ones to handle it.
I'm glad to hear that. All right, I can make the Da Vinci ready to depart inside of 2 hours.
I will meet you on board, and she will extend a limb to shake. I expect a long, fruitful relationship. It's a pleasure to work with you.
Pleasure. I'll shake the appendage.
And elsewhere in the station, well, actually, it depends where they are, really. Where, pray tell, is the captain?
That is an excellent question. I think we're all wondering about that.
Well, the captain, who is not in his uniform, has been going around the station talking to different individuals, different businesses, getting a lay of the land, getting people's opinions without being the captain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the best time to do it when everyone thinks he's not here yet.
Give me presence, command, or con, difficulty of 2, as you're to kind of catch all your chatting with the various people. I mean, it's a very, like I said, it's a very busy station. Lots of people coming and going. Federation people, lots of FIS people, and they're happy to chat with some random Federation alien. And all the Federation people are like, "Oh, hey, someone else from the Federation. I'll talk with you, sure."
Would you allow the talent of charming demeanor?
I would, yeah.
Okay, I shall give you a threat. Focus in diplomacy.
I would say so, because you're trying to dig at the diplomatic lay of the land. Oh, gain a momentum. The general feeling, I will say, is that the Federation people in general are very excited to see a brand new station. This is one of two of the deepest places to go in the Shackleton here, and the colony of Project Enduring Freedom. And to remind you, the Project Enduring Freedom is a moon colony that's like a sector coreward of you. But it's not. They're kind of it's a different ball of wax. Like that's a whole different thing. But this is like a brand new like alien space station that they're dealing with. And these aliens, unlike the ones that Project Enduring Freedom is dealing with, a somewhat, shall we say, a polite way to say it is an adversarial relationship, without being outright hostile. Whereas the FAS, although there are certain adversarial components to it, these people are excited. They have very similar values. So the Federation people are easing into this place quite quickly. Of the FIS, it's intense curiosity. You get lots of questions from the protozoic slime people of the Upantari, the light-based people of the Theory, and the spherical plantoids of the Savix who just have questions of every kind, from like, why do you wear clothes like that? What's that on your hip? How far did you travel? Like it's like reverse tourism. You are every person in the Federation is this brand new unique adventure for the FIS to learn about. Like they've never seen aliens like you before. Like, wow, mammalian, like you're not plantoid, light base, or protozoic, and you're intelligent? Wow. Oh, I didn't mean to mean it like that, but like, how does that work? So on and so on.
Yeah, like I said, I'd be happily discussing with them all, answering any questions. Is there any, I'd say any people of importance, but any people in particular that stand out, or when I'm going around and essentially secretly or undercover bossing the station, that require any attention?
Say that again. Sorry, I think I misunderstood.
So essentially, obviously I'm happy to answer any questions that I'm asked during the time, but is there any specific people or what people that seem like people of interest that reach out?
There's a variety of people. You would learn of a few of the station inhabitants. Well, there's another one that would have ran into, but they're not here. They left. Is this one? Gives me a good opportunity to fix their tokens while I'm at it. Boop, boop. Arodina Rulan, a Savix cast. I believe Rulan is the second in command of station security.
Yep.
See, you run into station security because they're wandering around checking on people, saying hi, and they notice you're asking questions, so they come over to say hi. There's also a Savix cast, a Dr. Trislan Kales?
Yeah, like I said, I'd happily reach out to both of them and like asking them questions about the station, their jobs. Could they give me a tour of their facilities? Because that seems cool.
Well, the people who created them, how would these two interact with the rather friendly Tellarite?
Isn't no, that's a different person. Sure, I'll say Dr. Drislin Callis is mostly interested in like the xenobiology aspect of the whole thing, as you would expect to Doctor 2. You know, they find the whole like mammalian humanoid life body plan very interesting, and you can tell they've got like charts and diagrams in their office of like what they've managed to acquire second and third hand about humanoids, and they've been doing their best to like make medical inferences off of that. And you know, do GM question, do the Sapphics casts have genders?
Not really, no, as I recall.
Then I'll stick with they. And you'll notice they are, you know, sort of asking you all of these questions about your bodily functions and existence and locomotion. Not many of them you can quite answer, but, you know, they're so enthusiastic about it anyways.
Well, yeah, I'd answer what I can, and I'd promise that after the tour, I'd let them have a quick scan of me, or if they want to run any tests.
Oh, well, that would just be wonderful. I still need to figure out exactly how these bodies tick before I am to, you know, cut them open and sew them back together again.
Oh, I can be a guinea pig at a later date. How does that sound?
So long as you consent, that sounds amazing to me.
That's perfect. Thank you very much for the tour of the doctor's offices.
Oh, well, you're very welcome. You know, I'm sure this is nothing compared to the Federation's own medical facilities, but we do our best.
Well, they are very impressive.
You have a nice day, Mr.
Mr. Glove.
Mr. Glove.
Yeah, and I'll head out and I'll start talking to the Rulan.
Okay, so she's a security officer in a station that, you know, has just managed to not allow the planet it's orbiting to get smacked by a strange station. And here's this guy asking lots of questions and stuff. So first she's going to try and figure out who this guy is. And, you know, if he's, you know, I don't know if there's a way where she can check entry records, or if, you know, when you come to the station, you have to, you know, I don't know. How does the FIS do that?
Is there some kind of border check or?
Yeah,
I'm Mr.
customs
Glove.
or.
There would be a way to, if they would identify the ship they came in on, and you would be able to compare the name and their biometric reading with the computer database.
She'll definitely do that perfectly while he's busy talking to the doctor.
Yeah, like I said, it's just Mr. Glove.
Plain simple glove.
Does that match up with what was on? Do I find him on a ship and whatnot?
There we go. I believe another opposed roll is occurring because I'm imagining Penn. It depends if Penn was so thorough to hide himself as to falsify the records on the Federation transport he came in on.
Yeah, he would have.
Okay.
Oh no.
Like, he's not purposely deceiving people. He just wants to see what it's like before it's, oh, Captain.
Sure, he's purposely deceiving people. Don't fool yourself. That's exactly what you're doing.
But he's doing it for the right reasons, so it's okay.
Reason security and is opposed. It's assisted by the station's computer security.
And if we're doing this, that means I've got the +4 again.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think she has any focuses, so she really doesn't have a shot in hell for this role, so I'm not going to bother spending any resources. So, just roll flat.
Okay, and the station for you. Nice, you got a 4. I'm just going to roll flat as well. I've already got a +4.
Right.
So yeah.
That looks like a tie to me.
No, I've got a +4.
Yeah. You're 2. Oh, you're 2 plus his 4. He has 2 from his roll plus 2 from the station. So it's 4 and 4.
But
Yeah.
4 against
he's got 4 or 6. Yeah. So
Okay.
he rolled 2, but he's got +4, so he gets a total of 6, right?
4, 5, 6. Oh, right. That's +4 on top of the. Yeah.
Right.
Do it. Yeah. He's a Tellarite who lives in a small town somewhere on the planet Andor. He came over on one of the ship. There's a ship that brought in a bunch of people. It was a transport ship, the Phoenix. It came over as a Sydney class. It brought over a bunch of like Federation citizens and non-critical personnel that just wanted to be here, families of the ship that couldn't be on the Da Vinci. It's like, well, or moving their furniture because it's just so big, and he's just one of many people that were on that ship. But it checks out. The computer knows who he is. He is a legal entry.
Oh, cool. That's fine then. Yeah. So they will see if he needs any assistance finding facilities on the station or with booking quarters or any of that good kind of thing.
Yeah. So I'm going to be opening a bar here, and I'm just wondering where the local security officers are, because I'd like to get that known in case any trouble happens, so I can get that relationship set up.
Well, of course, I can take you right there.
Oh, perfect.
So she'll take him to the security office. She also has a focus in FIS law, so she probably knows all of the regs and everything he needs to do whatever registration for independent bar is necessary.
So you're taking.
I want to see how far I can take this.
Security office. Kovic is in here. Too big. Too small. No. Yes.
Perhaps. Maybe.
Yeah. Goldilocks is our GM today.
Let's go with... Hey, I got a question. Why would Lieutenant Commander Haifa be in security?
To get to the other side?
Nah. And in what form would they appear? Because I just realized I was going to play your token as a surprise. I was like, wait, I can't do that.
Form.
Okay, good. Boop.
Well, probably two reasons. The first is I'm the primary source of all of the engineering information that the security officer was looking up, right? So he might have wanted a personal interview. Or
Yeah, but I'm not there right now.
Yeah, so you're probably at the desk, and they're setting up an appointment. Like, oh, he just stepped out.
yeah.
What time's good for you? Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And the second reason is just getting taking over station engineering, right? I need to go to all kinds of departments and speak to who's in charge on what work they need done, what their normal relationship with engineering is, right? I'm sure he's got a squeaky panel he wants done, fixed or something.
Fix the replicator and make a decent cup of coffee.
See, it's those kind of things. Screw keeping the power on the station. Fixing the replicators is what makes you friends.
He's not wrong.
Give me an opposed roll between Haifa and Pend. This will be insight medicine versus control medicine, because Penn might try to hide his features to hide who he is, I imagine. Or is he just literally plainclothes walking around?
I'm just plain clothes walking around.
Sorry.
Then, all of his traits are going to hurt him here, right?
Yeah. Insight. I will actually call this a flat roll of Insight Command difficulty 2, because Pend is a renowned officer in the region.
Starfleet protocol or impersonation as a focus?
Impersonation, technically.
Oh, yeah. I know. I'm good at exactly what you're doing. I'll spend the momentum we have.
All right.
He's my boss. I don't want to. If he's here, I would like to know very, very much.
GM, quick
Yeah.
question. Can I assist here with methodical planning, since I'd been part of a coordinated effort to locate Captain Penn, which probably involved calling in members of my crew?
I'll say so, yeah. There may have been a minor bulletin of, hey, if you see him, could you let me know?
Yeah,
Turn
Haifa, you
against
have
me.
Haifa, you have a reroll from my advisor talent.
Hey.
I've been betrayed.
Describe what Lieutenant Commander Haifa appears at the moment, because this is the first time Penn's encountered this officer.
Lieutenant Commander Haifa is 5'7". Appears to be human with medium length brown hair and a engineer's uniform. And she has the rank of a lieutenant commander.
It has a unique armband on.
Oh yeah, and she has a unique armband that goes just below the shoulder to just above the elbow that is white.
Yeah, you kind of look over your shoulder because you hear the door open and close as Deputy Harmonizer Roland steps in, and right behind the Savix cast is Captain Penn in plainclothes.
Oh wow! I look at the person and I just shove the pad that I was working on them and say, "Hold this for a second." And I I walk at a brisk pace up to Captain Penn.
Before you say anything, hi, I'm Mr. Glove. Pleasure to meet you.
It's an honor, Captain. I was hoping to get to meet you more formally, but I guess now's as good a time as any. I'm very much looking forward to being your engineer here on the station. Anything I can do, sir. Anytime.
just hangs his head and just looks like,
Captain?
I'm sorry, Captain. Did I interrupt something?
And just why would you be misrepresenting yourself to the people of the station, Captain Glove?
Haifa looks at Rulan, looks at Pend, and then goes, "No, not captain as in station captain. Captain is in the team, is in my old rugby instructor." And I throw my arm around Pend. He taught me.
Odd that you would pick captain as in captain of the station for someone that you're trying quite obviously and desperately to cover for. But the question still remains, Captain, as to why you'd be misrepresenting yourself here on the station, particularly when the presiding speaker was expecting to greet you himself.
like I'm sorry, what rank are you, Lieutenant Commander now? That's very impressive. Like the Lieutenant Commander stated, I was the captain of their rugby team, and there's not really a rugby team here, so it's not really applicable anymore. And I'm opening a bar.
She'll pull up on her pad the data that they've given on the new station commander, which I would assume would include a photograph.
Oh, apparently it seems to... Oh, wait, no, the FAS would have one. Yeah, the FAS would have a picture of him.
Yeah.
And the fact that his name is Captain Pend.
Yep. I see, Captain. I'm very sorry. It's not Captain Glob. It's Captain Pend, the commander of the station.
Yes, Captain Bragg Glove Pend.
Yes, I see that here. Again, I'm still not sure why you were misrepresenting yourself to people on the station, and also why a Starfleet officer was apparently assisting you in this misrepresentation right in the middle of the station's law enforcement headquarters. This seems highly irregular.
You've never heard a human joke.
Well, I was trying to get a lay of the land before people recognized me as captain.
Lay of the land?
So, find out people's opinions, ideas, general needs before everyone knows me as the captain. So I get a more honest take.
And so the presiding speaker of the Freedom of Information Spears plans, which your little antics here through in awry, you have no particular feelings about that, not to mention the lieutenant captain who's been working for weeks to get your welcoming exactly perfect, ruffling my tendrils every time she turns around.
You recall, Penn, as you were walking around, there was a lot of banners and tinsel and various other decorations, like it was like First Contact Day or something, and it's like, welcome to the Federation, and then there's like one that's Endorian, one that was Tellarite. It was the station was very decorated.
They rented out like a whole marching band, like every time, every little while you would hear like a do, and they would make a song singing the praises of our new joint friendship.
And that's going on all day today, right?
Oh, it's going all week.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's been Haifa will say, anytime this week, Captain Pend can appear for the first time and greet everybody according to their needs, but he can only travel the station incognito once. After he introduces himself, he'll never have the opportunity to see it.
Going to have to report this, and
eyes.
I have to tell you that the presiding speaker is already not a particular fan of Federation or the agreement, and this is not a great way to start things off, Captain. I'm sorry to
Can
say.
I ask you a question?
The report's going to go to him, though.
Yeah, can I ask you a question, Roland?
Sure.
What's your favorite type of drink?
Hold on, I'm going to have to read the damn entry for the Savage cast. Do they drink per se?
Hold on.
Favorite beverage? Just anything?
I mean, I know they photosynthesize, but
Well,
Favorite light frequency.
Well,
Plants
the-
absorb a lot of water. We can presume if they absorbed an alcoholic content water, they would experience something akin to drunkenness.
yeah, they're sea life, so a sea plant. So they,
I mean, I would imagine they would, filter water or something.
But if they have some
Yeah.
kind of neural chemistry, then I'm sure there's some kind of liquid intoxicant. So the translator might
Yes.
not translate it directly as alcohol, right?
Okay.
like lightly poisoned seawater or something like that. Like
I was
Right,
just
right.
gonna say, I think like the distinction between drinking and bathing to them doesn't exist. I imagine they just
Yeah.
dunk themselves in like a bath bomb to get drunk.
Right. Well, I enjoy a good soak in coffee.
Well, considering I am actually going to be owning a bar, that's in the file as well, I reckon you could be the first user or first recipient of that very specific thing.
That sounds a lot like a bribe to
I
me,
was about to say,
Captain.
This just
Uh,
went from a normal thing to like a crime. So step over here.
Bribe a law enforcement official, Captain?
I mean, I'd like to say no, but yes, I'm bribing you.
Well,
one of the people at the counter who are in serpent uniform just kind of like they just head desk.
Hype is in crisis mode. Is like, no. I think there's a mistranslation. Here, let me, Captain. Let me take a look at your comm badge real quick. And I try to grab for his comm badge because obviously the translation is not working correctly.
Captain Pitt, I'm going to have to ask you to come with me.
No, it's just a mistranslation. Let me fix it. He didn't mean that. He meant provide enjoyment for better relations, but not
So-
in a purchasing sense.
Commander, are you attempting to assist an attempt to bribe a law enforcement officer?
No. I'm responsible for all malfunctioning equipment, like this piece of malfunctioning gear right here.
Well, we can sort this out in the interview rooms, I think.
Well, good
Sure.
luck with that, Captain Pin.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Do.
Everyone's selling me out.
You did this to yourself. Every part of this is your fault.
This was 100% to yourself.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, she's gonna put pinned in a holding cell and then interrogate him. Let the
I'm
muckety mucks, the lieutenant captain, and the know that we found Captain Pin. He's been sneaking around the station and then attempted to bribe a law enforcement officer to not tell people that he was aboard, and
So the question.
I'm trying to get to a quiet place to immediately call Thralic and tell Thralic that all hell's broken loose and she needs to
Thank
get down
you.
here now.
So
Yeah,
before
I was just going to say, the second you call her, she is screaming at you that you arrested the captain of the station from
He
the
was
Starfleet. And assuming me and... Okay, GM, question. Have me and Frolic left on our mission already, or are we still on the station?
you're still on the station actually.
I imagine I'm actively packing my bags to get ready on this journey, and now I am... I was going to say running. I am slugging myself all the way down there as fast as I can.
well, I mean, Lieutenant Captain, he did attempt to bribe a law enforcement officer, and even the commander of the station is not above the law of harmony.
He is not above anything. That I acknowledge. But
So I
you
took him
must-
into custody.
This is a very delicate diplomatic situation that you are making much worse with your actions.
I wasn't making it worse. It seems to me it was the captain who made it worse with his actions. Sneaking around the station, then trying to bribe me? Come, Lieutenant Captain.
Is it bad that I'm
Not-
on Rulan's side here?
Not take
No.
any other actions in relation to the custody of Captain Pend until I and the Captain Frolic have arrived on the scene.
I will notify that at some point. I imagine a communique has been done through the Da Vinci to inform Kovic of what's going on, because I imagine you wanted him to know what's going on as the chief of
Yes.
security.
Yes,
Oh.
I would yell at her to inform Kovic too.
Oh God.
Kovic tells her to put him in a comfy cell.
The officer looks up and sees Roland walking in. There's like a couple other people who are sleeping stuff off. You know, someone who got dunked in alcohol for way too long and they nearly, killed themselves. Like, no. You're supposed to it's human liquor. You don't dunk yourself in it. You just tap it a bit. It literally will dry you out. It's like, so there's some people here. The person looks up and looks at Pend and then blinks and looks at Roland and
Kovic tells Roland to put him in a comfortable cell and not to serve him any of the station coffee or tea. Which is a favor, by the way.
Sir, if you would go to room A1 over there, please.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your cooperation. And okay, he's in the room. All right, that's my career. So I'm just gonna lock that door and make
I
sure.
don't understand why everyone is so nervous.
Well,
Harmony.
Harmony is important. Yes, Deputy Harmonizer.
You're not saying that now that Starfleet's here that the Freedom of Information Sphere's laws don't apply?
No, of course not, sir. It's I was not expecting him to come in this way. I didn't think I was going to meet the man, much less detain him. So
perhaps it will teach him a lesson about misrepresenting himself and attempting to bribe law.
And learning a lesson.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick my head and my hand out the cell and go. You might want to keep hold of this with his gun in his hand.
Armed, walking around armed on the station.
Captain, if you would put that in the
Sends like one really long tentacle and snaps it.
Oh, like the guy tries to instruct him what to do, and Roland just seizes the gun immediately.
You need to search people better. You're slacking on that.
That's a fair point.
Everything else, I'm really glad. That's a good job.
That's a fair point. I didn't even think about you being armed. It's not something that FIS people do. I'm sure. This is probably one of the reasons they had that Kovic character in. Mutters to herself as they wander down the hall.
I imagine at this point, Thralic and Serena have started making their way down.
And I'll come back in when Commander Thralic gets here.
All right.
That was
Lieutenant Captain.
great.
You are to release the captain of the Starfleet immediately.
Serena, I'm gonna give you Insight Command difficulty 1.
Okay. Okay. Insight Command.
There we go.
Do any of my focuses come into play? FIS law, perhaps?
Yeah.
Okay. We sure don't have any momentum. Take a threat.
Certainly.
Yeah, we have not been
Sure.
generating any momentum tonight.
No.
Yeah. This is pain.
You can let the complications stand.
So, technically speaking, he constituted an invasion, an illegal entry into the free information sphere. So, he's currently being detained by the civilian law enforcement. You're basically the military trying to tell the police, let go of that military officer because he's my buddy and he's supposed to work at my base.
Yeah.
You could twist this guy's arm and really push the power of the Navy on this guy, but on this Savax cast. But there's a very unique problem that's popped up now. Like, this is something that probably occurs in the midst of your jelly rage, as you're like, wait a minute, hold on.
Okay. I understand the importance of the balance of powers. And I strongly implore you to... Oh, is that Commander Thralic walking into the room? I must implore you to consider releasing this man. Schedule a trial if you must, but you cannot keep. I can't deal with you right now. And I am going to shuffle over and try to, be happy and be like, oh, Commander Thralic, it's so great you're here. Captain Thralic.
Thralic just walks up to Serena, says, Lieutenant Captain, and then walks past her to Rulon.
Yeah. You see, like she's like slugging behind you. Like, no, look, don't look. Everything, it's. You just keep going. There is
Assistant
no
Harmonizer.
justification that she can.
I would like to discuss the arrest of Captain Pend, if I can review charges and potentially get the situation sorted out through the proper channels.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm Commander Thralic, captain of the USS Da Vinci, currently the ranking Starfleet officer who has been recognized by the FIS as adjunct to the station.
Are you operating as the prisoner's attorney or advocate?
Until such time as an official charge is made, I can't answer that question.
Well, then I can't let you see the prisoner.
Stalemate. Damn, I'm glad I'm not there right now.
So I'm gonna cut the scene for a moment as the standoff and security continues. Dude,
I just get to chill with like the civilian investigator.
Meanwhile, Ben is just on the bridge like, man, things are calm right now.
Yeah. Ben's currently getting in his bridge hours, like.
Yeah.
You get
He's
the
got,
chair,
like,
Ben.
Yeah, he's like got like his feet up in the captain's chair, like
Oh, this is
sipping a
chill.
mimosa.
I want to say this is like Ben's first time in the captain's chair. He's having the whole like, oh wow, this is comfy type deal.
you even feel the chair kind of meld around you because it auto fits to the person because it's one of the more modern ships. So like, ooh, that's kind of creepy, but also comfy.
Should I throw in some of like the support characters that we know are on the ship?
I mean, if you want to spend the crew support, no, you can't.
Just to like throw the. Might want to adjust the size of those. And I forget, is Cham a bridge type person?
Well, yes, but he'd be in the chair if he was here.
Hmm.
Because he's a lieutenant.
You.
I'll have him down in like engineering right now.
Cham is not an engineer at all.
He's probably enjoying the station, honestly.
He has a 1 in engineering. You do not
I'm
want him
sorry.
down there.
I'm sorry, I had something different on him. Oh yeah, he's probably on the station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just not on duty.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean,
That-
like, there can be someone that's pestering Ben on the bridge. Just like, let me fix your arm. Let me update your arm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you've just facilitated the transport of the harmonizer. You didn't get to meet the guy because you're kind of on the bridge. You know, that's something. He was in the transporter room. You went to beam him up. You flew over a little bit and then beamed him away. Like there was no reason for him to bother. For you going all the way down, then all the way back up. He's not going to be on long enough.
Yeah. And right now, Ben's just taking it easy, reading, planetary survey reports from science ops. He looks over to Ensign Mila. 9th planet from the system, 12 moons, abundant plant life.
Ha ha ha. I see what you did.
Still mad about it.
Well, be mad about this. You have a reason science roll, difficulty 4, assisted by sensor science, as I imagine you're doing a standard patrol of the system looking for anything in particular, and anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
I will say station would assist with sensor science, because I'm presuming you'd collaborate with station ops to look for stuff.
Has that...
Are we
So we're in a
collaborating
new-
right now?
Are we in a new scene?
Yes, you would be.
Okay, so that momentum.
Yep.
Oops. Okay. Ugh. Sucks. Take a. I don't like this. Take 3 threat.
Certainly.
Sensor operations focus.
Yep.
Well, the station helped.
Wow. Station sure did help. see if the ship
Damn.
helps.
Station also like kidnapped a low roll there.
Yeah.
Damn greedy station.
Yeah. Well, we definitely made that.
Yeah, we made that by. I
We
think
made
generated, like,
4?
momentum.
Yeah.
Finally, we got some momentum on the board.
Are you sure about that? Whoops.
Uh-huh.
Oh no. Just hold on. I'm trying to get a feel for what are the various stations here on the bridge?
Science, tactical, internal security. So actually, that click should be over here because this is internal engineering. I should have moved them. That's my bad. That's the XO's chair. That's pilot. That's oh, I have the wrong color there. That should be not a red, but a yellow shirt because that is what's it called? Bloody ops, I believe. No, I got backwards. It's navigation. You don't have an ops officer per se.
No.
Mm-hmm. And so back here is what again?
Auxiliary.
Auxiliary.
It can do basically all the other stations. And actually, I got the map wrong. Someone suggested this is the communication station.
Okay.
Okay.
So, for a momentum. Okay, actually, well, I'll say what it is first, and then we'll discuss questions.
Okay.
You know, he goes over to sensors, looks over the sensor op shoulder. Is that what I think it is?
Aye, sir. Tachyon burst percentage 25.5. New model.
Romulan warbird.
Oh wow, it's really fitting that she's on the bridge then, huh?
Yeah.
Yo, alert eye. Shields up. Should we inform the station?
Agreed.
During the commotion that's happening in security, Sirena is called to a console with a loud bleeping noise as she's informed that the Da Vinci has called for a yellow alert and has raised its shields and is advising that the station do the same.
And Ven makes his way.
This is a very important thing to note. Do they say why?
That's up to you, Ensign.
Yes, I would
Okay.
I would be informing them.
Because the assumption as to what you are doing here changes radically if I do not know the other thing. Okay. There was like a moment of like sheer panic on her face when she goes, "Oh my God, are they about to open fire upon us?"
No,
And then when the rest of the message comes through, she says, oh, Captain Thralic, I must speak with you immediately. There's an urgent security situation."
The message would be cloaked vessel of unknown alignment.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't outright say Romulan, but I want to make sure that the message notes. We don't know if it's friend, we don't know if it's foe, but it is here and it is cloaked.
You don't want to outright say it, but you just did outright say it, which is very accusatory if you don't know. Don't me.
I like Finn.
Yeah, he's like rubbing his hands together.
That's very accusatory.
Don't take me.
Goatee grows into place.
It's the first facial hair he's ever grown.
You a new arm, and you're here giving evil laughs.
Mine's just gone through puberty.
Oh my god. Oh, wow.
Mirror Ven has like a pencil mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You're right.
Yeah.
No, so Ven goes back to Sub Lieutenant Talora and says, "What do you think?"
Well, that's assuming I can see the scans.
Yeah, he'd
Okay.
have it sent back to auxiliary.
I just have to ask permission.
Yeah. She's not Starfleet.
Looks over his shoulder to the science officer that first found it and said, "Forward sensor feed to auxiliary."
Aye, sir.
And what is she looking at?
A cloaked vessel.
So now I'm going to start spending some questions.
Yes.
Such as?
So hang on. First things first.
First things first.
God damn it.
Get wrecked.
Hey,
Never worked out.
at least I didn't fucking give him any more. Fucking.
Yeah. Yeah, good. I'm sure we can figure something out. Maybe.
First question. Do we know what class it is?
I'm gonna double check, make sure I got my ships right.
Telling class by cloak is finicky, but
I mean,
rough dispersion due to size.
I can tell you. I can tell you scale. I can't tell you class because it's in cloak currently.
Okay. That's fine.
I can give you a size due to displacement of cloak, but I can't give you the class. Although, then again, if there's a scale 6, there's reasonably only one class of ship it is.
I'm going to say
There's actually two scales.
2, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that if we are actually assuming it's Romulan.
Yeah.
I need a.
Could be Klingon.
Because no, because the one scale 6 Romulan warship that the House of Gita took has been destroyed.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
And he
the
sort of looks over.
Negvar
No. This is
scale
definitely
6.
Romulan. Look, the tachyon dispersal pattern there. That's a distinctly Romulan one.
Klingons could have seized one of them. They've had raids for years now.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
who's in control of the vessel is entirely is a separate question entirely.
Scale 7.
Oh,
Oh no.
big
well,
one.
that's. I'm guessing she has no clue. Then, as
Oh,
far
what
as
size
vague
is the
guesses
Bavaria?
go, being that she is an
6.
NCO.
Yeah, that's a class. You don't have, as far as sub lieutenant's aware of, you don't have. The Navy doesn't field ships that big.
It's like, if we have something like that, it is, what's the human phrase? Above my pay grade.
How big's the Valdor?
do
Is
I
that
know
5
if-
or 6?
It's
Do I-
6.
Do
The
I
Valdor
know
was the one I was talking about. That was
Do
the
I
other
know
scale
if
6.
so is I keep wanting to say Varder. No, Rylov. Is Rylov on the ship, or is he
No.
back on the station?
Well,
He's on the asteroid.
He's on the asteroid currently.
asteroid next to the ship.
That's
He's
right.
smoking cigarettes with Kovic.
Yeah. He probably would if he was offered.
Everything else is going to shit, and the two of you are just like partying together, like
We're just like we're standing around this like almost volatile reactor smoking. Like, what do you think, bro?
Like, if it's gonna go, it would have went a while ago.
I mean, if it goes, we're not gonna know about it for long.
Yeah.
Look, we even have a little smoking
Actually,
icons.
as a question, this is what this is like the paranoia thing, but it's also one of the more recent things we encountered. Wasn't that Borgified Tel Shiar ship a scale 7?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like just to put it out there.
Was
not
the
that I
board?
believe
Did the
it's that.
boardification increase
Make
the
it larger?
scale?
Yes, it did.
That makes sense.
Then,
I don't want to say it's that, but that's the only thing that's familiar in recent memory to me.
Then,
Actually,
how far out are we from the station? Oh no.
Oh, that's me covering a spend I should have spent earlier.
Oh,
No,
okay.
we should be in close
yeah.
range because we just transported them down. So.
No, not the station. The
Oh.
not the station that you're on. This okay. Yes.
this is why we should call one the meteorite and the other the station.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
agreed.
yes, the Rock. Okay.
The Rock is
The
good.
Rock. Oh my
Johnson.
god, can we put prisoners on there like Alcatraz?
That
Rock?
seems
Oh.
inhumane.
Well, luckily for us, we're not human.
For the good of the states. For the good of the states. No.
I don't know what the rock is cooking, but I
Go to the hive.
I mean, I guess like the only people that'd be happy are the water people, but that's about it.
And currently the tractor beam is not locked on it.
No.
No, it's in a like semi-stable orbit drifting around the star.
Okay, in which case, Helm, we have a position on that Romulan warbird, right?
Well, no, unidentified cloaked vessel.
But yes, the unidentified cloak vessel. We do have a general location. Okay, yep.
I would
Helm.
appreciate I just calling it unidentified until we know.
Yep. Helm, interpose us between that sensor signature and the asteroid base.
So you're like here?
No. Just within our same zone.
Oh, so just
So like
here.
Yeah.
So like that.
Very much a you want it the asteroid, you gotta go through us kind of thing.
It goes here.
Yeah, it's not coming for us.
Okay. Yep.
Although, yeah.
So, has more than a minute passed since the station was told?
Yeah, I was just going to say we
what's the
got to the
station
station because the second I got that message, I'm yelling for Commander Frolic.
yeah.
Captain Frolic. But
So you're in security. You go into like one of the.
Yeah, so I'm currently having a standoff with the assistant harmonizer, you know,
and I'm going
fighting.
to get between the two of you, and I'm going to say, it does not matter. We have an urgent security situation. A cloaked vessel is within this system of unknown, flying an unknown flag. Captain Commander Frolic, I must urge you that you come with me to ship operations for us to handle this, and then we will handle the issue of.
Lead the way,
Captain
Lieutenant Captain.
Anthony's
Let's go.
Let's go.
So two of you rush
Like,
off
as
to.
soon as you said cloaked vessel, she's like heel turning and almost leaving you behind again, I think.
Also, yes. I'm now establishing that Serrata does not understand whether or not you are a commander or a captain because the cultural confusion between rank and position is lost.
Yeah, because commander's not a thing they use.
Yeah, you are a commander captain.
Yep.
Captain Commander.
Or Captain Commander.
And Pand enjoys the nice, comfy location of the cell.
I'm saying if what type of security this cell has.
As we pass, I'm going to say, Lieutenant Commander Haifa with us.
I mean, yeah. As we're walking, Haifa will suggest, perhaps, Commander, you should return to the ship. I, as the senior officer of the ship's complement, I could go with of the station's complement. I could go with the captain of the stars, lieutenant captain of the stars.
I don't believe that the Da Vinci is within transporter range right now. Plus, they've raised shields already.
And she has raised
We should-
shields.
We should likely recall them. I don't think Ensign Vin is prepared for this kind of situation.
Agreed.
He is only an ensign.
Agreed.
I
So good.
am confused. You left a, and she kind of pauses for a second, a incredibly junior officer in command of your battleship?
He needs experience, so we leave him in charge when things are not complicated. We didn't expect that you would have Romulan warships infiltrating your space.
I see.
I think while we're in the turbulent elevator, I don't know, I'm going to communicate to the Da Vinci.
Okay, so before we cut to combat rounds, I'll answer the question. Captain Pend, to inform you, the security measures here, although are using lower tech versions of it, it equates to a rating 3 security facility. They have firmly locked doors, sensor beams in the strips in the cells, and a manned security station that you saw on the way in. Plus, there's various other officers milling around this, what appears to be the primary security facility.
Is there anything within the cell that can be used to short circuit the security measures, like the sensors and the actual like door?
No, surprisingly.
Well, that's good.
Good. I'm
That's it.
glad.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't make it worse.
I'm literally just trying to find out what the situation, like how the station's built.
Whoops, wrong one. This
I see
one.
us quickly passing from misdemeanor to felony.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, folks, gotta swap. Have to clean the screen.
Don't break my jail cell.
We're still here.
Well,
Jail cell.
I
Those
was only
things
gonna
cost money.
break it to see if it could be broken.
I mean, all jail cells can be broken. It's just a matter of what
Yeah.
you use to do it.
Well, it can't be broken with just what's inside the cell, so that's good.
You're very bad jail cell, but good.
Yeah,
That's like what jail cells are meant for. That's its number one job.
Well, we've confirmed that now.
Well, plus if Penn gets out, he's gonna stun or beat up every single person in there, which is just gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
That will be a mess, yeah.
So I need to put you.
It's safer with Penn in a locked room.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that
Yeah.
Ralph is at least nominally aware of something else happening outside.
Well, the Da Vinci didn't communicate to you. That's what I wanted to get.
We're just chilling here. Yeah, Kovic.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, that's why turn order is going to matter now. I basically then had a free turn of, I'm going to respond to what that does. Because I wanted to see what you would do from the hip.
Yeah.
It's like the from the hip action was shields up and kind of get in the way and kind of tell
Yeah, fair enough.
the captain. And is over here. Too
I mean,
big.
it's not like there's much they can actually do, given they've already raised shields. So we'll just fly up here. It's fun.
I mean, yeah. Trollic
I mean,
action is probably going to be contact the Da Vinci. If Ven answers, tell Ven to get everybody off of the Comet station.
So what's a
We're
nice
just-
Romulan boy like you doing a rock like this?
Oh wow!
Turn will roll to the allied forces.
playing with dilithium.
New scene, by the way.
Alright. We'll lose one.
GM, how
Um,
many movement turns are we away from station command, station ops?
You will. I'll say you guys arrive in ops just as the combat's beginning.
Thank you. Okay. Is it a major action to raise shields?
Minor.
Or is it a minor action. Okay. I would like to march into the central position in central ops. I would like to raise shields and do a rally because we need momentum.
Yellow alert or red alert?
Yellow alert, raise shields, arm phasers, arm defenses.
Basically.
The Halanak equivalent is defensive mode or offensive mode, or stationary normal.
Defensive mode, arm weaponry. I'm not giving the order for evacuation or general quarters. Just arm yourselves and raise shields.
I'll note that the steel fleet in the region will automatically tune the minute you do it. They start putting up their shields because they notice that you've done it. So so these now are friendly ships that they won't act on their own turn. They'll wait for orders. So they won't do anything unless someone uses a major action to use them to do something because they're kind of they're trying not to get in the way. Is the thing.
Yeah, and I would like to send a communication on a well, I don't want to send a broad communication. I just want to say to all FIS and Starfleet personnel on board the station, we have a heightened security situation. I need all crew to report to battle stations. I can't deliver a speech right now. I will stress the importance of working together, and that while individuals we might not be able to face this challenge, united as one, we can overcome any issue, any threat. I'm not gonna have a focus, but I am rolling a 14. Take 3 threat. Well, that did something.
Generate 3 momentum.
Alright.
All right, you guys can do whatever. I just wanted to do that first because, I want the station to be ready.
Does the turn go to the enemy force, or do you guys keep?
I'd like to keep, probably.
It's still for free because Ralph's in he's not in the loop. He doesn't know what's going on, so you do not benefit.
Yeah.
Question, GM, since that went out on station-wide to station officers on the quantum entanglement system, would Kovic have gotten that message too?
You're right. Your QAC would have caught
okay.
it. Never mind. Rylef is now aware because Kovic would have... Like, as you're talking, Kovic's thing just kind of vibrates at him. He picks it up, almost like it's a hand radio, and then turns a switch, and you can hear the communicate. Kovic can hear it, and you can turn up the volume to let other people around you hear it.
Yeah.
The default is that it's meant to be quiet, so the person who has it holds it up to their ear.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm assuming Rylef's just passively, essentially tapping himself into Da Vinci comms at that point, there's something happening.
Yeah.
So keep is for free because Rylef was informed through Kovic.
All right, wonderful.
I have a suggestion.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I could try to intercept communications in case this ship is talking to other ships or talking to someone outside the system. That would tell us if we're dealing with one person or multiple people.
Sounds
True.
like a good plan.
So the keep's going to Haifa.
Do we want Keep to go to Haifa or Keep to go to Throlic Direct Haifa?
I don't.
Depends if you have more things you might want to do on your turn or not, I guess.
I could. So I could. I could intercept, and then either Swift Task or when it comes back to you, you could put me on signal jamming, right? First, let's see if they're talking to someone else, and then regardless, jam them up.
Yeah, sounds good. So we'll go to you then. Sounds good.
Boop.
So I'm gonna try to intercept from 224 of the core. Fuck.
Communications.
And I guess the question is, because we have Rylov, do we have up-to-date knowledge of whoever this person's is, ciphers, and codes?
I beg your pardon?
The intercept task gets easier and gets a different attribute if you have up-to-date knowledge of the culture's codes and ciphers.
That is a bold assumption that this is a state ship.
That's why I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I am back.
I kind of assume the answer is
No,
no.
but I'm assuming,
but
if there would be certain channels that is protocol to check, then you would have those. But
Fire me the page number again, because my cheat sheet doesn't have what yours have.
core book 224.
224.
Middle of the page.
218, 219, 212, 3, 4.
he probably knows state things. He has
There it
no
is.
idea about other ones for the reasons of he's not an intelligence officer.
It just specifically calls it out. That's why I asked.
Yeah, that's why I was double checking as well. You didn't. You would not benefit from that. No.
Okay.
But at the same time, that rules some things out.
Yeah.
Conveniently.
If Rylov has shared with us some state codes and those didn't help me here, then we know it's not a state ship.
Could be, yeah, I mean, shared loose terms.
But it's
Specifically
maybe
what
not a
you're
state navy ship. It could be like a state intelligence ship.
Maybe you should try to broadcast to it so that it knows you see it and knows it's there.
I mean, yeah, that's an option.
Shake the tree, see what falls out.
Do you want to see what falls out while we're on an unshielded rock?
I mean, whatever happens, we're going to be on an unshielded rock.
All right.
To an extent. Maybe they just don't know we're here. That could be funny.
I'm just saying, if somebody's sneaking and then somebody else like directly communicates to them and goes, "Hey,
Oh,
you right there," then
Often, they don't respond though. They just go be more sneaky.
Well, but that tells you something too.
Well, unless they're Klingons, in which case they get angry, which also tells you something.
See, it's all about shaking the tree.
I have a question. Because I'm on the station using the station systems and it primarily uses quantum entanglement as a communication system, would you accept quantum slipstream drive as like at an increased complication?
At increased complication, yeah.
All right, I'll spend 3 green.
We don't have any blue AP, so.
I'm gonna drink a tarberry.
Drink a Tarberry juice. But you're a hologram. You don't need those.
Falls through. No, I don't benefit. You drink this.
Well, no, it's like the containment field is still up, so it just splashes on me.
Just find some random person on the station who's like, drink this.
Oh, this game's gonna be great now that there's just gonna be all these like in-jokes about the Fallout RPG.
Saying my other games weren't great? Trying to say something, Ben?
Station's comm security.
Yeah. And it's even more in jokes. We've got Midnight Watch in jokes. We've got Klingon game in jokes.
Boop, ba-doo. Boop, boop, ba-doo. Boop.
14 years of Kismet and Achilles game in jokes.
Yeah, Kismet, Achilles, Fallout now.
You can see all of those on YouTube. But yes, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. So you generate 1. You see that they it seems they are not communicating with anybody outside of themselves anyway.
Okay. And I have a question. So long as we don't like jam, does that stay active, or would we have to attempt it later?
No, unless they do an action to re-encrypt, you've broken it. So they would have to re-encrypt their hails if they wanted to do it again. But you're scanning all the channels that chip could be broadcasting according to its unless it's talking on hyperspace channels, which you wouldn't be able to intercept those anyway, or lidar. If they're saying something, you're not hearing it.
All right, then I say, Commander, I have their comms frequencies. They're not talking to anyone else. My suggestions are that we jam them so they cannot report on our defenses until they respond. Or we hail them.
I would prefer to hail them. It's a much less aggressive action.
All right. Then
And until such time as we know who this is, we don't know what their intentions are.
Since I'm at that station, I'll go ahead and swift task and do the hail.
For 2 green to Swift?
Yeah.
Well, normally it's difficulty 0, but you're Swift tasking. So, control engineering, difficulty 1.
Computers or Starfleet Protocol?
I'll take computers here. Why not?
I'll spend 1 minute.
You generate 3. I believe Threllick has returned.
I have. Do we have any of those on the table still?
No, that's everything. Okay, now grab you three. Cut the station ops. New map. And there's the people who made this map. Thank you very much for making this. Well, they sell it, so people can buy it if they want. This is the main command chair. Where specifically each station is. Welcome to an alien station. And there's stairwell that leads down to the stairwells lead up decks and down decks. Like this is the primary station, one of the primary station control decks. There's another deck above you that has a similar version of what you have, but they're more centered around ship and fleet management. This is the station management room.
So are you saying like we can say where the stations and what they do, or are you saying we have to ask?
You can say it's more of a catch-all for the moment, but we'll figure. For now, we'll worry about naming specific stations later. But wherever there's a person, wherever there's a badge, that's a station.
Then can we have communications and engineering to make my life easier?
Sure. You have hailed them. They are accepting the communication and are willing to go on screen.
We have them, Commander. They are responding.
I'm on screen.
I do so. Actually, in fact, I need to correct myself because I think I made a mistake. I'll keep with that. I asked Thralic what I should do, but then realizing that was inappropriate because Thralic does not actually have authority here. The second time, I will say, Lieutenant Captain, I have them. Would you like to open frequencies, and then I will do so.
I was beginning to wonder if that was an intentional slight after a while.
And I was about to redirect the question.
Yeah, I mean, like 2 minutes ago, I was afraid you guys were about to open fire on us. So, the least insult here is that you use the wrong address.
And technically, Lieutenant Captain of the Stars, the equivalent is Commander. So it's funny when you said that. It's like, when you say Commander, it's like, that technically made sense still. I have them here, don't I? I do. Oops, wrong one. It's supposed to be up here. No? Not gonna? Okay.
Nope. I don't know what I'm noping, but I'm just gonna do it on principle.
Just nope.
Appearing in the a three-dimensional hollow, but it's somewhat translucent, so more of a Tritio appearance with a faded blue that slowly starts coloring in a bit as Haifa is able to kind of help out the hologram a bit to fill in the blanks, because you would be getting color data.
I know something about holograms and holographics.
Yeah. And on screen, you see a Romulan woman in naval uniform, but it's a much darker shade of black. There are certain shades to it that would be very familiar to a Romulan, but that Romulan is not present. She frowns at the screen, kind of raises an eyebrow as she looks at the Upantar in the command chair.
You are an unidentified vessel operating deep within our territory without permission. Decloak and state your name, intentions, and flag immediately.
It would seem that your capability of securing your stars is not lacking Halanak Station. I am Commander Valar Ralan of the true empire of the Romulan people. I represent Taylor's Blade. And the ship, and you fall out of combat as they do not power up weapons. I assume you don't as well.
Yeah, we're I'm going to maintain alert status for now, but if they are willing to talk down, talk down the aggression, I am willing to talk with them. Although
They're Romulans, they're always willing to talk down.
Oh yeah, no, I realized as soon as I said it, that's the wrong kind of talking down.
And I will highlight to all of you, because all of you would be aware, based on how they identified themselves, they've identified themselves as a member of the Tal Shiar loyal forces.
Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, we're in the odd position of being in a undeclared Cold War with, right? We can't acknowledge that they're hostile to us, or we're to them, right? Because we're trying to keep face.
Yes.
Do you even recognize their government as like a legitimate government?
We recognize
we
that the
do not.
Romulan state is in a series of internal conflicts.
But not the actual Romulan state, right? Because we
But the
don't
Star
recognize
Empire.
them either.
Yes.
Yeah, we
We
recognize the
recognize-
Star Empire is in a state of conflict.
Yeah, we recognize a polity that doesn't exist anymore.
Yes.
No, it does technically, because they
both claim to be the true government of the empire.
There's the Star Empire, and then there's the Imperial Romulan State. They both claim the Imperial title.
Yeah, but
So-
we don't recognize either of them as being
Exactly.
true.
Then
Yeah.
who do you recognize?
We recognize the old government, which it currently doesn't exist.
It's currently
But both,
dead.
yeah,
Yeah, we
both-
recognize like the old Senate, very few of whom are alive.
And the ship was the Talon's Blade.
Talor's Blade. Let me get that for you here. One second.
Taylor.
But if,
The Taylor's Blade.
Taylor's Blade.
Tinker Taylor soldier.
The ship that appears looks like a larger, more fortified version of a Valdor class.
Ugh.
Are we still in communication with them, by the way?
Yep.
Okay. You have committed a series of offenses against our state. I must order you to stand aside and accept internment for your transgressions.
ooh, I like this Captain of the Stars.
Yeah.
I am merely providing you the courtesy of treating your security forces with the same level of care as I would any other star polity. You notice that we fired no weapons, nor invaded any of your stations, and upon being identified, decloaked as ordered. I am in fact here representing the true Empire's diplomatic interests, and also to extend a diplomatic and cross-cultural hand to assist in a matter I believe is of interest to your government and the Empire.
If you came here on a diplomatic mission, why did you enter our territorial space without permission, without even informing us? Under the strictest definition of the law, you committed an invasion. You better have a very, very good explanation for why you had to do this much secrecy.
Oh, I do. Lieutenant, Captain of the Stars. I do. And I assure you that what I know, you don't want broadcasted on a subspace channel. I would advise you, under a flag of truce, to come aboard your station, and I will discuss this in a appropriate manner with your appropriate cultural guides. Or I can ensure that imperial interests are not hindered by your nascent polity.
That sounds like a threat against the station.
It sure does.
It is.
Um,
I'm not there to say it is, but it is.
Power up the mass
is-
drivers.
So
hold on, everyone. She is going to sigh and say, "Give me one moment," and cut the comm. And now I will turn and look at the two of you, and we can talk about this.
yeah, I was about to say I want to look some information up to see about something. GM, could their ability to be seen through cloak be described as like an engineering fault? Right, there's some system which was not operating at peak efficiency.
For 2 momentum, you could say that, yeah.
I'll say that. Then I'll say, and I'll word it specifically to say, Lieutenant Captain, they're having problems with tachyon emissions from their cloak because some element of the system is not working. Even if we wanted to engage in diplomatic talks, as the station's chief engineer, I would not be comfortable allowing it near the station without a full inspection of their engine propulsion systems to make sure the station is safe.
I understand what you are saying. I do not, however, believe the Romulans, and she will turn to Thralic. We have not had much interaction with the Romulans. I only know them secondhand. You might know more, but from my understanding, they would see through such an attempt, and they would know what we were trying to do by such a demand.
Knowing what you are trying to do and them confronting what you are trying to do are two entirely separate matters.
They're playing a game, and you have to play back.
Do we, though? Does your Federation, does your Starfleet battleship and our station and our fleet combined really not pose overwhelming odds? Could we not simply...
No, a cursory look at this station means that we could annihilate them. But,
I don't believe the
think we're gonna start
FIS
a war.
wishes to enter war.
Yeah. We can't... Starfleet can't acknowledge their existence, right? And so that makes any dealing with them difficult. Which is why you have to approach this with a level of diplomatic care that is very extreme.
I understand.
Is everything all right? Says the presiding speaker as he flows into the room.
This guy, we got to keep this guy off the bridge.
There is a representative of a rogue faction of the Romulan government from their ongoing civil war. This is located some stellar kilometers away from the station. They snuck into our space without permission, and upon our detection of them, are insisting that we engage in diplomatic talks with them.
On the pain of violence.
My understanding is that's normal for the Romulans, similar to the Klingons, really, except more veiled. But
I would say that that's an accurate assessment. Perhaps.
Normal, but not acceptable.
what is their intention, Lieutenant Captain? Or the one they're professing to have, anyway.
She claims to have information of... She claims to have information on board... She claims to have information of our... some use to us. She did not specify and insisted that she be allowed to come aboard to engage in diplomatic talks with us.
In your naval capacity, do you believe them safe to enter into equal conversation here on the station? Or do you believe them a security threat?
They pose no meaningful threat. We could obliterate them should the order be needed. However, doing so would cause a diplomatic incident and likely further conflict.
If I may, Lieutenant Captain?
Go ahead.
I wish to correct what I said. They do not threaten us from a tactical perspective, but once they're in transporter range, all guarantees of whether or not they have illicit personnel on the station are lost.
Yes. Yes, of course. We should keep them at range. They will simply be allowed to send one heavily monitored shuttlecraft to our dock.
Well, I'll get out of your hair. I'll get out of your hairs then. And we're just passing through, wondering what the defensive alert was about. Seems to be nothing that requires a presiding speaker. If you need me, you know how to find me. Good day. He flows out of the room.
Seriously, there has to be a way.
Okay. Out of character, I trust that guy about as far as I can throw him.
I was
about to say,
I feel like you could throw him quite far.
And I don't think we could keep him off here, because I think keeping him off here would create a constitutional crisis.
That'd be called a coup d'etat.
Yeah.
Which I mean I can do, but
the big things beside the stairways are turbo lifts, so it's not just stairs. Yeah.
I will note that if you're under offensive station, he stays out of that room for security reasons. Because he may or may not evacuate from the station, or he may just stay where he is. But that's at his discretion. That's at his and his security's discretion. But that's the one time he would never enter the room, because he knows that you're shooting at somebody. It's like, no, I should not be in that room while you're doing that.
Yeah.
Whereas defensive, it's like, I can poke my head in, but the acceptable thing in the FIS is not to come in there when you're under defensive status, but there's no legal thing to prevent him from doing it. He's just not supposed to. Whereas offensive is like, no, there's actually a law where he can't be in that room for his safety and the safety of Parliament.
Okay. Commander Frolic, will you be so kind as to help us navigate this meeting with the Romulans?
I would be glad to act as a mediator between the IRW Taller's Blade and the FIS.
Thank you, Commander Captain. Put them back on screen and stand down from defensive alert. Maintain shields.
Lieutenant Captain.
We will be willing to hear you out. You are to stay outside of transporter range. You are to send one shuttlecraft under escort from our vessels to this dock that we are transmitting here. You are to bring no more than yourself and 3 other members of your crew. You are to abide by our laws and customs so long as you are on our soil.
The Romulan Empire congratulates you on your discretion and wisdom. My ship will send appropriate information once I'm at my personal shuttle. Until then, I'll see you soon. And vanishes. You can just see a smirk growing on her face as she vanishes.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you were going to say the smirk lingers. I was like, oh my god.
Oh no.
Yeah, she just deflates a little bit in her chair, and she says, "I can't help but feel like I'm making the wrong choice."
Don't worry, Lieutenant Captain. You actually have the upper hand here. I'll step down and hand her a pad. Any attempt by her to communicate back to her ship while she's on board, and you know what she says. So, you have the advantage.
Very, very good. Every day when I think the Starfleet has impressed me, they impress me a little bit more.
Good initiative, Lieutenant Commander.
Excuse me?
Oh no, I was just talking to Haifa.
Okay. We must prepare a diplomatic suite. I apologize. We will settle the matter of your imprisoned captain as soon as possible. This just has to take priority. And I am going to shuffle off to make preparations.
I'm going to follow Serena here and bring up and like in a elevator, whatever, say, Lieutenant Captain, it might be wise to expedite the resolution of the matter with Captain Pend, as technically, with Captain Pend not yet taking command, the treaty is in a state of limbo.
And
Are you saying that unless Captain Pend takes command, the treaty could fall apart? That
I sincerely doubt that. However, given the propensity of the Romulan government to gather obsequious amounts of information, having all of the affairs in order could be beneficial.
understood.
we cut away to the Da Vinci. Captain Venn.
Yes.
They seem to be communicating between each other. It's a, I don't know what that is. It looks like a Valdor class, but it's too big. No shields, no weapons. And station sends that it's not in defensive mode any longer. And yeah, the ship's just sitting there. It's not doing anything. Just saying where it is.
Okay. In that case, drop shields.
Torpedoes. No, just kidding.
We need to raise Rylov. We need to get him back up here.
I'm assuming someone just presses a button on their console because he was tapped into it. Like when
Trigger that signal.
it's like, I'm here, Ensign.
I don't know if you've been appraised as to the situation up here.
Loosely, thanks to Kovic here. Harmonizer Kovic, sorry.
Right.
I saw him roll his eyes when he introduced himself like that before, so I had to say it.
Yeah.
We think it. I think it's in the best interest that we beam the two of you up at this time.
Are we in any danger? I mean,
Okay, when I say it
beyond
vaguely,
the
I mean
usual?
the last thing we were made aware of, I believe, was a cloaked vessel approaching the station.
The situation appears to be somewhat diffused for now. However, the ongoing situation is one that I think I'm not as suited to handle as you are.
Sensor report. It looks like the unidentified Valdor is about to launch a shuttle, and it looks like the Steel Fleet is heading to escort it.
I can return to the shuttle, and as long as we believe that the situation is presently non-hostile, they're posing, well, limitedly hostile, providing low risk to Harmonizer Kovic and his I don't believe we actually met them or introduced them because things started happening, but the other person with you, they can continue their investigation. And if they believe a certain point of view or perspective that I could offer would still be needed to assist them here, well, the sub-lieutenant can always take my place.
Because this person was long, as I recall.
Yeah. So, do you believe you need a Romulan set of eyes on the matter, Harmonizer, or will you be fine without my presence? Or one of our presences?
I think we should be good, but if you've got a Romulan engineer on hand to help with our examination of the Romulan materials here, I wouldn't turn it down.
Oh, she's not an engineer, but she's done a lot of reading about engineering. So she'll be helpful.
Good. Sure. Bring her on. Oh,
Sorry, I had to
nice-
say it.
What's a nice Romulan girl like you doing in a rock like this?
Do you use the same line on everyone?
Works 1 out of 3 times.
One size fits all.
It has to work eventually, right?
Does
Good luck with that. So it sounds like we're just swapping Romulans.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is
Oh my god,
happening.
it's like
about to
that
say-
show, that trashy reality show Wife Swap, Romulan Swap. You swap a Romulan and a Vulcan into different places and you see a lot it takes for someone to notice.
We did that, and it almost worked. It was called a coup for a while.
To this point, the Halanak agreement has been that Kovic has spent more time with Romulans than anybody else knew.
It does. It's
And I was
hilarious.
about to say Romulan swap sounds like something Kovic's into.
So, on that highbrow
Romulans
note,
almost quietly took control of Vulcan. That almost happened.
on those wholesome notes, what is Kovac and his investigation team doing now that things have settled a bit?
Okay, yeah, we're doing like criminal forensics, particularly with interest of seeing if we can collect enough DNA to potentially identify the Savix cast who were on the boat, and also trying to figure out if we can, where if this Romulan made equipment is of recent construction or is really
You want
old.
to carbon date it.
So, shouldn't be too difficult. So,
Oh, sorry, those are 2 different rolls. My bad. I conflated the 2. First one's Reason Medicine difficulty 2. Would be 3, but you have a friggin' Savix cast with you, so it's not that hard. Like, scan for Savix cast signals. I know how to do that.
right.
Oh,
That's my primary medical. And the other thing would require reason plus. Nope. Try again. NG difficulty of that one's difficulty 3. There we go. Throw like abandoned post once again.
see, engineering. But we'll go after the medical.
Yeah, it's medical difficulty 2. Okay, so actually I think Kovic might be able to handle that.
Well, I mean, you always have help if you need it from your companion.
Wink, wink, nudge,
Sure.
nudge. Know what I mean?
No, from the tentacle one, not. It does not make it better in some circumstances.
It doesn't. Yeah, honestly, I think whoever wants to grab Namoth can use their scores for Reason Medicine are better than Kovic's.
Yeah. I believe that.
Kovic will assist.
Oh, do you guys want me to do it? Yeah. Sorry.
You eagerly volunteered before.
Well, I did, but then I talked for 8 hours, and now I'm stressed out that I almost caused a war. No, I got it.
You did really well.
Okay.
It's still only at almost.
Reason, medicine, crime scene processing.
Sure.
That does seem
Okay.
appropriate.
Okay. I'm just gonna spend all of our momentum.
Well, you made one at least. That's all I need.
Boop.
Kovic's not helpful. Unsurprising.
No, don't touch that. You're going to poison the evidence or spoil the evidence.
All right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
She can't help. She has a medicine 1, so you know.
You don't touch anything either.
Why do all these meat things need meat for hands? Why don't they have like plant pseudopods? Like that's so much cleaner.
Well, I'm going to touch the reactor,
Leaving your
and that is necessary.
He's leaving your filthy mammalian paw prints over everything.
Good God.
And
Yeah,
they say
go-
we're offensive.
Can't assist with the engineering thing. I think Namoth might be able to, but
Well, I will throw out because you might use that momentum for extra questions. So I'll
Yeah,
throw out.
we'll find out what that done first. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, tell me what I learned first.
It would seem you do find a variety of Savixcast. You're able to collect Savixcast DNA and biometric data, sufficient that it could be identified in a computer. One that stands out to you is, if I can get the name. 1 second, checking my notes. Hold on. Well, we'll do this. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. I already know what I'm doing wrong. I already know. Oh. There we go. I couldn't remember their name. Alt tab. Do not fail me right now. Thank you. You detect one is very easy to identify, and that is Priest of the Greenleaf Order Saop Vaduz. A rather prominent spiritual leader of one of the ancient faiths of the Savixcast.
What is he doing here?
You have momentum to ask follow-up questions. I gave you the priest for free because that's one that easily Namoth would have immediately went, I know who that is. Like, there's only so many priests of the Greenleaf Order that live.
How many other bodies are there?
Oh, they weren't bodies. He's not dead. Right?
Oh, they're not dead?
There's no dead body. There's no life forms aboard. You're just seeing the remnants of life forms that were aboard.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yes. No, you're finding fingerprints, essentially, or straps of DNA and figuring out who they are from that. Not a whole-ass body. That would be quite morbid.
Okay, one momentum for any other questions? I'm sorry, one momentum for any other bodies. Any? Yes.
There were seven other Savixcasts that were aboard recently.
Greenleaf Order, huh? This doesn't seem like a real harmony with nature kind of operation.
I mean, you don't normally see scientists and priests getting along.
And in fact, I'll point out, because you have Namoth with you, there is specifically the Enlightened Engineers who are the religious part of Savixcast that are about technology. The Greenleaf are specifically about nature and one with the biome and things like that.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Yeah, I stand corrected that apparently you have religious engineers. That's new.
We are people filled with surprises.
They're not wrong.
Yay.
Okay. Are anything identifiable about the Seven crew other than they were just Savixcast?
For a threat, I can answer that.
Sure.
Or were they all Savixcast?
You can tell after further scanning that you are detecting certain technology that at first you're probably not terribly keen to share when you scan it. But Harmonizer Kovac is an FIS ratified law enforcement official, so he can know this. It's just the alien in the room is going to make this a little awkward for you. Because you notice the other ones are wearing a very particular type of decoration, or they were, on their spheres. It's a way for Savage Cast to highlight what faction they're part of. Like, for example, this particular Savage Cast would have particular badges to indicate they're part of the Harmonizer Enforcement Division, things like that. I'm going to send you some information, and you can parse that out. 1 second.
No, so it's
Oh
gonna be,
my
we're going to
God.
leave you in the reactor room for a minute while we have a talk. It's like, oh, it's one of those moments.
Yeah, I apparently this session I'm cursed to play every character going through a moral crisis in relation to maintaining diplomatic
Because you're good at
relations.
It's not a moral crisis. It's just we need to have a private talk, and how much that she respects that is up to her.
Probably the shadows of Umbara putting their pseudopods into things.
They sound particularly interesting. What are these shadows of Umbara?
See, I enjoy the fact that you all are having like this serious session. I'm just sat here the entire night, just fucking around.
We noticed.
It's very funny.
Which still kind of fits in with the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, I'm getting to you.
Who knows? They're very secretive. Could be, an intelligence gathering group. Could be terrorists. Could be, who knows?
Oh no.
Oh, don't tell me he's right. I'm not saying that it's her. That's me. That's out of character because she's in a different room now,
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
doing whatever she's doing. That
it's
just sounds
numbers-
terribly interesting.
It's number 6 on the major organizations list under the Savix Cast write-up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you right?
No, of course not.
Aw.
However, Namoth needs to speak with Kovuk in a secluded room, in which the foreign agent who's working. Well, technically, she's a foreign agent twice over. So, you doubly need to
dare
be
you?
left out of this.
Sub-Lieutenant, if you could just excuse us for a moment.
Of course,
or two.
as long as I can do what I need to do.
Oh,
unless
go
I
ahead.
should wait for you.
No,
I can
go,
wait.
go ahead. I'm going to be no help with engineering.
Okay.
Feel free to do the roll while they're discussing.
That's just like that's her partly being like, if I'm occupied, I'm actually not trying to listen in.
Thank
So
you.
what do you have, Namoith?
I think there's reason to suspect the involvement. Not just reason. I think there's a very good chance this involves the shadow of Umbara, the shadows of Umbara. Sir, these markings here are that group's logo. If this is not them, this is someone trying to implicate them.
Oh, isn't that interesting? So, do we know if the amount of biomaterials here indicate that these people are we picking up just like trace elements of people were here or elements
Trace elements of people
other
were
life?
here, yeah.
Okay, so not like they were disintegrated or something. These are just like fingerprints and whatnot.
Yeah, you're not seeing scorch marks or mass driver pitting in the walls.
Right. Okay. Well, that's Shadows of Umbara, and then we have the Tal Shiar showing up. Well, the waters are getting muddy, Namoth.
Yes, sir. Yes, they are. All
Well,
of
let's
this is
go-
far above my pay grade. It's how to handle this has to fall onto your shoulders, I'm afraid.
Well, just be sure that you're submitting reports under proper security. Meanwhile, let's go see what the sub-lieutenant has turned up in engineering.
Sir? Yes, sir.
Okay. It was more of like a, is that an oddly convenient one that she's just had that's vaguely applying? Okay. Because did the reading gives her one anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
The folks would be antiquated warp assemblies or something like that.
It's exotic through its age.
Yeah.
Also, I believe it is actually kind of exotic in how it's intended to function,
Yeah.
in a manner of speaking. But yes.
I mean, if you want to take the complication case, I won't fight you on
No.
it. Yeah.
But
See-
we made a momentum. I was really hoping that she would hit a 2 on that like last time.
Oh, you got it. Didn't realize you'd gotten back. So you were scanning
Being
the.
inattentive?
You were scanning the engine 4 or the power system 4. I forget already now.
Yes, Kovic, what were you asking me to scan for?
Just quick PR beat. So
Oh, tragic. We were trying to figure out the age. Determine things like the age of this engine or this core, for if it is something salvaged or not, salvaged or more recently built, something like that. I believe. Am I correct, Kovic? Because you're back. That. What was the intent of our investigation?
Well, in general, to learn more about the technology, the Romulan technology, but yeah, to see if this was recently built or if this was something that was,
Oh yeah, 4 weeks ago. Huh. No, that's fairly recent.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Yeah. No, actually, that's shockingly recent, actually,
Yeah.
for something that is functioning like this. And we already know that it's specifically Romulan made.
well, it has Romulan parts. It's Savix
Romulan
cast made.
parts.
Right.
Yeah.
The Savix cast tech wasn't up to making those Romulan elements, right?
Yeah.
No.
Like even the best of steam, coal, and steel can't really get up to
That's fair.
antimatter gel formation. It's a bit beyond them.
Is there a
Shocked.
And we already know that the typical manufacturing or the warnings, this is property of the Star Empire, etc., don't exist. Are there any more subtle markings that might have been placed anywhere, or any, not even like physical markings, chemical markings, or something that might give an indication of origin?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Well, that was.
I was
It was
going
a
to
thought.
ask the same thing. Yeah.
As long as we're on the same track, but that is a momentum spend, I believe.
Yeah, because for sure there isn't. The absence of it is an answer. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is very, very thoroughly scrubbed and designed with the intent of having no trace back to a specific Romulan thing. In fact, it lends itself to being denied. It's plausible deniability. You can't prove it was specifically a Romulan entity that made it, as something might have this design, given its age. The Klingons, for example.
And the Tal Shiar just showed up on our doorstep. Okay.
Yes, that is fun.
All right.
We don't exactly see eye to eye.
Well, Sub-Lieutenant Dymoth, do you guys think there's anything else to be learned here?
Not at the moment, no.
There's
We
always
can
more to be
engage
learned.
in
Go ahead, sorry.
we can engage in a deeper study, but I do not know what other scans I can make at this moment.
So
Mine
Laura
is
has
going to say
the
the same thing.
Da Vinci downloaded the data banks for the rock.
No.
Let's do that. Nymoth, I think you're probably best equipped to go into the bridge, being it's flooded. You could look for anything there, logs, etc., and set up a data link between the systems aboard and the Vinci.
And with that, we end the scene.
And see.
Oh no, we lose our momentum.
Oh, wait. Oh, hi, Kovic.
Hi. What?
Bye.
Ah!
Quantum teleportation!
Aha! You did not know the FIS had that technology.
It's actually just Mirror Kovic.
Yeah.
You tell he had a beard. Wait.
No, Mirakovic doesn't have a beard.
Oh, I see.
Mirakovic is super well shaven. Oh, here comes the big boss. I love how nobody stops people just walking into the various points of the police station.
Do you want to stop this guy?
This guy- Would you, if you worked at the DC penitentiary, would you stop a senator from walking in to see a prisoner?
Pretty sure.
You're goddamn
Yes.
right.
Senator,
In
yes.
fact,
The President of the United States, probably not.
That guy he was playing that was like stubborn, he's real letter of the law, so I think he would, wouldn't he, though?
Yes, yeah, they would. But apparently they're not around, so they're writing a report somewhere.
Captain Penn, you get a ping in your room. You hear a chirping noise next to your bed, and you see it's one of those quantum entanglement communicators. You notice it has a special coloration around it, which from briefing you remember means it's limited. It's a lot of QECs are tied to like very big networks, so they can talk to various people. This one is like for like the desk to talk to you in particular, or the chief's office to talk to you, but you can't really call out from it.
Yeah, I'll activate it.
Captain Pend, it seems presiding speaker Varys is requesting to speak with you, but under FIS law, you are legally allowed to refuse visitors, sir.
Well, I am, as you can see, I'm clearly entertaining a whole guest of people, so yes, I'm free.
Aye, sir. And you see a somewhat, at the moment, a darkish purple, luminescent slime pour in front of your room door. You can see the decorations of them being the presiding speaker, and you would know this person on site as well. That this isn't someone pretending to be at the parliamentary slimes tend to have a very unique coloration that indicates that they tend to be very serious or deep in thought. Not all of them, but most of them.
It's a pleasure to finally meet you, presiding speaker.
I believe the pleasure is mine, Captain. I see you've managed to get yourself arrested.
Well, that was one of the objectives, so, successful.
I take it from the conduct I've observed of your staff compared to yours, it is a testament to the fact that you as an individual are distinct in your actions. You are not an exemplar of them. You are uniquely yourself, I think the Anthari would say.
Yeah, we'll go with that definition because I'm pretty sure my higher ups would use the euphemism of a pain in the ass.
Well,
I will give you credit. the station and its population are very inquisitive, helpful, and even though I'm here in a cell, the security is actually well run.
We of the Free Information Sphere pride ourselves on our openness to what the stars offer and the opportunities that lie between them. But we understand that not everyone out there shares our enlightened viewpoint.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't immediately show myself. I wanted to see how the station was... Well, before my identity got revealed and everyone will know who Captain Pend is, I wanted to see how the station was run, how the little intricacies work.
Well, I'm sure the Lieutenant Captain of Stars would appreciate your... Well, actually, I'll offer you two options here, Captain. I want to give you a fair chance, and I'm told by my parliament that I can be a little judgmental when it comes to the Federation and its Starfleet. You can either go through and experience the Free Information Sphere's legal system and answer for your trespass and fraud exacted against the sphere. Which, if you wish to experience that for some reason, I will not. I will gladly let Parliament know of your intention. However, if you wish this to be construed as a command and security audit, you see his colors change. Like, you get the feeling this was really not his idea. Someone else in Parliament said this to him, and he's just repeating. In that case, you can be released for having completed your assignment and get to work.
I mean, out of character, that's kind of what I was actually doing.
Yeah.
I mean, is there like some protocol I could quote to him to confirm that I was actually doing that?
You can roll mechanics. I forgot how this game works. Presence plus command, difficulty of 2. Actually, you know what? This guy's really 3, 4, 5. Presence command, difficulty 5. There are protocols for that, but whether or not the presiding speaker will see it that way, you kind of have to explain it to him in a way that makes him not pissed off.
Yeah, I'll try to assuage his anger and fear. So, charming demeanor will give me a free reroll. Diplomacy as a focus.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of my traits kick in?
Some will cut against you with this guy, unfortunately.
That's perfectly fine.
Oh. Tried and tested and hoplite will bring down the difficulty by 2. So falls to 3. Tiger of Narendra. And I got that backwards, sorry. It would be tried and tested and quantum specialists bring it down by 2. Tried and tested the idea that this isn't the first time you've probably done an audit. You've tested security things. You have a career in that sort of thing. You were a former intelligence officer, so this is not, looking up your record, this isn't abnormal behavior for you. You're not just being a jerk to this station. This is something you would do. And quantum specialist, you understand how their tech works, but you've never experienced a civilization that runs off of quantum energy. Like, that's a unique thing that you've never... This is the first place you've ever encountered it on this scale. Downside, complication increases because of Tiger of Narendra and Hoplite. Because he views you as a militant person and doesn't seem to... It seems wary of you. Commanding presence doesn't hurt or hinder you. It doesn't really affect him much, but it doesn't hurt you either because he has a similar trait. So you do get a feeling that he is... I will say as part of those traits, you do get the feeling that he has traits very similar to yours. Like, this guy has a militant history. Maybe not in intelligence, but he's fought before. But that's where you're getting the vibe of not hostility, but wariness. Like, it's one naval officer to another watching you and observing you very carefully.
Yeah, and until he gets the lay of the land or the lay of Penn, he's keeping his guard up.
It's like, hey, who's the alien sneaking around on my station and poking at my security? All right, put him in the brig. I'll talk to him. Well, I didn't put him in there. Like, okay, I'm talking to him. What the hell do you want? What are you sneaking around for? I'm not trying to sneak around. I'm trying to help. I mean, I am sneaking around, but it's to help.
I would ask, is a determination spend for... I wouldn't even say mission directive. I'm making sure the station's up to par.
The only mission directive you would have had so far would be to get to the station, because you don't have any official orders anymore once you got to the station.
That makes sense. Value, this seems like a teaching moment.
No kidding.
And I'll give you 2 threat. So 6, 7. Oh, and because of a talent that I have, veteran, I should roll a challenge die. Oh no, I don't get it back. What will I ever do?
I understand your desire to ensure combat readiness of your staff as well as the staff assigned to this station. And I will note in my memoirs your initiative and creative thinking. But I will advise you, Captain, that you will need... Well, you don't need to, I suppose. But you should. Make some amends to the station harmonizer. For I get the feeling that they're going to lodge a complaint to Parliament for this. So you may wish to amend that bridge before you make an enemy of law enforcement. For, as your commander learned very quickly, our civilian law enforcement are not beholden to the military.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I did offer him like a free use of a specific use of a like a bathing liquid in the bar.
That was a bribe, you jackass!
Well, the offer's still there. It's not a bribe anymore.
I would suggest that perhaps you Although Sevex casts are known for being open to new experiences, harmonizers take their duty and role quite seriously. And the Ioshan Kovic seems to take it more seriously than they do. And that is not something I would say lightly. Oh, and he pulls something from out of his sash, and then he flicks your firearm through the bars at you. You can have this back.
Yeah, I appreciate like the not taking of the bribe and sending me to jail, but they did forget to actually take this off me initially, so there is something they can work on.
Parliament will give them a formal review given their failure. Don't worry.
Like I said, it's kind of more of a testing phase, but we'll leave that for another day.
I'm sure Harmonizer Kovac will appreciate your test. Good day, Captain. He flows away. The door doesn't open right away. There's actually a rather distinct pause. And then the door opens.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, oh, he's going to leave me in here with a firearm? That seems unprofessional. But yeah, considering my cover's blown, I assume I need to go up to the bridge.
Sir, we're going to have an escort with you while you head to the to your assigned post. For your safety, sir.
Oh, okay. So what's it like working here?
And we cut away. As the poor clerk is having the most enthralling day. I don't know.
Are all of these guys like theoretically Starfleet?
They're Starfleet, but the people assigned here are assigned to the Harmonizer's office. So he's in a very difficult position where he's like, by prime directive, he has to abide by the laws that he's under. So he's like, well, I have to. But some of these people are also Savix Cast or whoever else. This guy just happens to be narratively a Starfleet person who had the bad luck of, we'll put him on an easy station. It's not like we're going to have a bunch of prisoners. Oh, I'm going to see a lot of people today.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure they were like Savix Cast and Eleutherian and Upentari.
Oh yeah. The majority of them would be local FIS. Yeah. The Starfleet has a minimal presence, but they have some just because it's like, well, time. Hey, Starfleet security, time to learn how law enforcement works here. Why? It doesn't work the way it does in the Federation, so learn quick.
No, that's cool. I just want to make sure there were FIS citizenry.
Yeah.
Reflected in the police.
And then. Whoops, wrong menu.
They wouldn't be police. They would be an occupational authority if they weren't locals of this.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
As a shuttle from the Romulan vessel floats over, a fleet of Daredexes decloak before they approach the system. But they stop they start approaching, and then you see the intercept signal gets from the command ship, halt and say where you are. The mission continues. And the Daredexes immediately stop.
Because I think I'm now the senior person on the station's bridge.
Thrallic's
right?
there.
No, they went down. Thralic went down with...
And Thralic doesn't have a position in the chain of command of the station.
That's true.
Yeah.
I take us to... Is there a silent yellow alert? Like command station, command personnel to the bridge now, but don't alert people?
You would put out a call. You put out a summons for all command staff to come to station ops. So you just wouldn't call general defensive alert or offensive alert.
Then I call. Yeah, I'll send an urgent message to all personnel to get to their posts now.
And for the time being, that will be the end of the current episode of The Adventures of Halanak Station. As, well, we learn a bit about station security, a bit about the Romulan Tal Shiar faction's intentions, but also what that may or may not have to do with the laboratory that they're still investigating. Until next time, for all of you watching, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. And we'll see you all next time.
Oh, God.